Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to Good Morning Brownsville. It is Wednesday, October the 8th, 9:34 a.m. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be talking about something very interesting that transpired as of late. We titled our program, I think the Bisd board members are freaking out on someone being arrested. The local school board has become a circus, drawing public outrage and media scrutiny as it faces an ongoing investigation into allegations of rigging insurance contracts. What was once a forum for educational leadership has developed into a battleground of accusations, finger pointing, and political theater. Whistleblowers have claimed that certain board members colluded with preferred vendors, manipulated the bidding process to award lucrative contracts in exchange for kickbacks or political favors. Now, these meetings, they have turned chaotic, with parents, teachers, and community members demanding accountability while board members scramble to defend their reputation. As investigators dig deeper, the scandal threatens to undermine the public trust in this very institution that we so trusted. And this, as of late, has charged with overseeing students' education and welfare. Now it's being called into question. My name's Frankie. This is Roman. Good morning, Roman. How's your Wednesday going?
I'm shocked by the title of your show. So it was going great until I saw the title. Like, what? That's insane. Well, that was a circus last night. So let's talk about that circus.
It was a circus, and again, it's never a dull day. Never a dull day in Brownsville, Cameron County, South Texas politics. What seemed as if it was going to be a lackluster meeting compared to the previous one. And I say that because we had board member Carlos Elizondo make accusations that he's got an audio of someone. I'm assuming he meant a board member being on the take of taking money under the table. We had Denise Garza accuse someone who many insiders claim that is Carlos Elizondo, who gave certain questions that manipulated the process. So certain vendors from insurance had information that was only privy to board members. After that meeting, Roman, I thought, okay, moving forward, everyone's going to be on their best behavior because of all eyeballs. All eyeballs are on the school district. What trips me out, Roman, is many people did criticize our show last week when we talked about TEA, the Texas Education Agency, and the three-letter agency that we'll be discussing in greater detail today. There is no question the BISD is being investigated by TEA. The school district is being investigated by the FBI. So I thought after the last special call board meeting, Roman, everyone was going to be on their best behavior, but it seems that's not the case.
Why would you think it would be on their best behavior? Look at that board agenda. You had things about the quote Utah incident, end quote, otherwise known as Charlie Kirk and the assassination of a conservative activist in our country, live on everybody's Twitter feed. That you had a discussion about the insurance, not just one but two items on the agenda, where you had like Golden Girl being the approving person for both of them, which is odd and strange. And I guess she gave an explanation as to why she was there, and not to toot our own horn or anything, but I think she was talking to us. I think some of her statements were talking directly to you or to me or both. I don't know. It was very interesting. And you had that issue. And then there was another item on the agenda that I thought, was clearly going to freak people out. And I'm trying to remember which one it was, because there was I know there was four items on the agenda.
Attorney.
Oh, yes, the attorney, talking about who the attorney was going to be, request for proposal, certain things that could have been done in an email. And I guess now we know that sometime in November, there will be a new attorney. So, yeah, there was enough there to warrant there were going to be some fireworks, and there certainly were. And I feel like we're almost talking like about a football game, after a football game. Let's talk, the post game and see who won, who lost, or whatever. But it was a lot of interesting things that happened last night, and I hope that some of you were able to watch it live, or just waiting for the post game show because you don't want to pay for the pay-per-view. And so we could talk about it. Nobody wanted to pay for the PLE, premium live event. we're here to
Yeah,
discuss it.
yeah. Trevino said it best. Last night's meeting was very interesting. In regards to the attorney, again, there have been question marks in regards to this very lucrative position, and many people were critical of Carlos Elizondo, Frank Ortiz, and Minerva Peña. There is
Mm,
no secret that Baltasar Salazar has heavily invested in these three board members previously. El Run posted pictures of them eating together. Now, just for the record, I have no problem, and I may catch some flack for this, Roman, but I have no problem with board members meeting vendors, meeting attorneys. I personally don't. And look, I, I try to be as transparent as possible. I used to be on the other side, Roman. I know what it's like to wine and dine board members. I've been to national school board conferences in Tennessee, in Denver, in Colorado, and my job was make sure that every board member is well taken care of, make sure that they have their drinks, make sure that they have their food. If they tell you to jump, you jump, Frankie.
mm,
Okay. So I want to make it very clear. I have no issues with board members um, breaking bread with vendors. I personally don't have an issue because again, I used to be on the other side of the aisle, on that side of the aisle. Now, what I do have a problem with is whenever contracts are discussed, Roman, whenever details in regards to what's coming up, things that vendors aren't supposed to have information of. That's where I have a problem. Now, do these relationships, Roman, intertwine with these contracts? Yes. Why? Why do these vendors try and get a stranglehold on these board members? Because they want to make it so personal, Roman, that they cannot vote against them. Again, for the record, I have been on that side of the aisle. I know what it's like to wine and dine. I know what it's like to establish these relationships. Never in those 10, 12 years that I partook in that, never did I ever see vendors that I was associated with ever bribe someone, ever ask for information, never. And I'm being as truthful as possible. Maybe people aren't aware of my previous experience or my previous life of but again, I try to be as transparent as possible. So, just for the record, Baltasar Salazar has heavily invested in Carlos Elizondo and his faction. Um, was there promises made, Roman? If I help you in your campaign, Carlos, Frank Ortiz, they're both coming up for re-election, Roman. The Golden Girl, who seems to be now the swinging vote that once belonged to Erasmo Castro, are they being promised something? So it's going to be interesting moving forward because that is the idea that many people are having that, hey, the possibility of Baltasar Salazar coming back to BISD is more real now, especially after yesterday, Roman.
well, yeah, because people are going to be able to do their, their not qualifications or something. It's going to be sealed. What is it? The sealed process? Uh,
CSP.
CSP, yeah, there that. And so that's going to happen later on this month, and then I guess they'll have the idea of voting on who they're going to hire in November. I don't know. I don't think about that will have the votes to be able to do it. I think that based off of how La Golden Girl was voting last night, I don't even think she's even the swing vote anymore. I think she just squarely with the girls now because she's scared out of her freaking mind over what happened at the last meeting. And some of her explanations were, I think were very clear, at least for me, in my personal opinion, that, she's going to be with them because she's scared. She's terrified and she doesn't want to make any rash moves. I mean, look, there was there was even discussion about school choice, which I think last night was ridiculous. Like, why are we doing this?
Right,
It's like, why are you doing a resolution that isn't going to do anything? It's going to happen whether you vote on it or not. It's like a waste of time, a waste of space.
right.
It's all political. I mean, the only reason the Golden Girl voted for it or whatever is because I guess she wants to be able to get their support next go around. When she runs for office, she wants to get their endorsement, get their support. That's just stupid. Again, if you want to shorten the meeting, you want to talk about things that take forever, that could have been done in email. And quite frankly, it didn't need to be done. It really didn't need to be done. And then you just gave an excuse for Minerva Peña to start questioning why we're doing it, and the way she was doing is kind of odd. So there was a lot of stupid stuff that happened at that meeting last night that shouldn't have. I think the meeting lasted till about midnight. Hey, at least it didn't last till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, as I was predicting. There was even discussion about grievances and when they can come up. Grievance threes. I thought it was very fascinating that Jessica Gonzalez was talking about, if we're going to do special meetings just for grievances, it can only be for grievances and nothing else. Because if you give them a little opening, you're going to have Minerva Peña putting like 10 freaking items on the agenda, and it's just like it's a waste of time. They want to just do those grievances because under new state law, they have only 60 days to set those grievances once level 2 ends, if somebody wants to appeal it. And I think that's very, very important that they've done that, because, I've done a grievance that took forever to get from, level 2 to level 3. It was insane. Months for no reason. Things that could have happened, sooner, that should have happened sooner, but they weren't, But hey, Salinas says he works for everybody, and, he does his very best to do it as quickly as possible. I'm sure he does. Anyway, but yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. So what issue do you want to talk about first, Frankie?
I have the video. Maybe we can play it and do a play-by-play, Roman, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, we can.
You could. I'm gonna start off on the issue in regards to teachers. For those that aren't aware, we did post last week in regards to the school district being investigated by TEA. Brownsville Independent School District, BISD, is one of hundreds of schools throughout the state of Texas that are being scrutinized by TEA in regards to insensitive comments made after the Charlie Kirk political assassination that happened in Utah last month. And this is something that Minerva Peña had discussed. So that is where we will start today's program, Roman. I am going to play it. You let me know when you want me to stop to give the viewers a little bit more insight. And again, this show is going to be juicy. So let's start.
Discussion and possible action regarding inappropriate statements made by BSD personnel online and in classroom settings, reference to recent violent incident that occurred in Utah on 9/10/25. Board agenda request, Minerva Peña. Board support, Carlos Elizondo.
Ms. Peña? And I know that a lot of people are very uncomfortable that I put this on there. And the reason I did is because I got lots of calls and lots of text messages and lots of pictures of what people were posting. Yes, I am very, very cognitive of the fact that the freedom of speech, 100%. But we're in an education system. We have teachers that are looked up to and admired. And for some reason, Facebook has become something that its original creator didn't expect it to be. So I understand the difference between freedom of speech and the responsibility that you hold to be the teacher or administrator of a school. Very big. Because if that's the case, if we don't take care of this now, it'll go forward. I can call you anything I want. And, hey, buddy, freedom of speech. Can't do nothing to me. Freedom of speech. No, ma'am. No, sir. Not in our education system. We have to be able to draw a line. And we can put, let me ask you something. We can put that where you can have the teacher sign, you will not put anything online that will come back and degrade our school district, our personnel, our people, or something that happened in society. Is there something that we can do to prevent that? Because yes, I'm all for freedom of speech, but there comes a time and a place where you have to limit yourself. This is why we're having, God help us that we never have, people on the inside falling apart. And I've heard people that said that the friend that turned around, did something upstate, said, I'm leaving, but I'm gonna take a few people with me. And guess what? Nobody knew he was on his way to take them with him. So we have to be very, very careful because we're living in a society right now that's very sensitive, it's very delicate, and our teachers are priceless. Our teachers are looked up at. When I got copies of what people are posting on their personal Facebook, chat, or what have you, I didn't know what to say, I didn't know what to respond. All I could do was share with the superintendent. We need to be very careful. There's a difference between freedom of speech and the responsibility to a job that you took an oath to uphold. And that is shaping and developing our students' future. And for our student to bring it to me and show me, ma'am, I don't even know what to say. So yes, I'm all for freedom of speech, but I'm also for respect. Because I don't have to like you, but I am mandated to respect you and look out for you. So
Frankie.
I want to know, what can we do to look at this and limit the way that
Talk to me.
Okay, so she's talking about. There's a couple things I want everyone to maybe pick up on. She says that all she could do is give the information over to the superintendent. Great. I'm glad that she realizes that she should be not necessarily, ordering people around or being metiche and below.
Micromanaging.
Right, exactly. She's supposed to go to the superintendent. That is what she's supposed to do. So I'm glad that she realizes that. And at some point in the meeting, we're gonna remind. I want to remind you this. She's gonna talk about certain things that she's been doing. It's like, hey, only go to the superintendent. That's your job. Don't go anywhere. Go to the superintendent. That's number one. Number two, earlier in the meeting, during the public comment period, you had certain associations, some of the unions. I want to say it might have been AOBE, it might have been them. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember which one. I think it was AOBE, talking about the freedom of speech, that it's a chilling effect and we shouldn't be limiting the freedom of speech of teachers. But and I think that Minerva's listening to do different things. She's listening to what they're saying to try to placate those people, and at the same time realizing, wait a second, they do have freedom of speech, but they can be fired because there's Supreme Court precedents to be able to say that you're a government employee, you don't necessarily have the 100% freedom of speech that everyone else enjoys. And there's certain code of ethics, there's morality codes that you have to abide by when you are a teacher, because you are held to a different standard, because that is in your contract, right? That is part of your certificate. That is part of what it is. And I think it's important that you all realize that what we didn't see and what was said by some of these associations. So yeah, any comment on that, Frankie, so far, while we set up the possible action that will take place? Which I also want to point out that there was, there was news media there. Channel 5 was there. They did a story on it, and we'll talk a little bit about what Channel 5 reported while this particular section happens.
we have the freedom of speech, because those people that do that, you bring something to them, man, they want to take your neck. Wait a minute, but you opened the door, I just simply walked in, the person says, and then you want to just, cut them off. So what can we do to protect our employees and our students from the teachers or administrators who, I respect how they feel, but they can't put themselves in that position, because in the student's eye, teachers way up here. And when they see what they put, they drop them to the floor, and they're like heartbroken. What can we do to be able to have our teachers not make those a kind of statement that will look bad as to what you represent and who you are and what you do? What do you recommend that we do? Because like I said, I'm all for freedom of speech, but there's a time and a limit for how you do what you do, when you do, and why you do it. What do you recommend, sir?
So great question, Trustee Peña. As you know, we all know this is a good opportunity to talk a little bit from about the legal perspective about what we saw after the issue in Utah with Charlie Kirk. What I can say is that I think that this issue, what it mainly did, especially here in Texas, is highlight already established law and already established case law both at the Commissioner of Education level, at the state court level. And the reason I say it just highlighted that is because there's already mechanisms in place, and there's already rules in place, and there's already policies in place that prohibit specific kind of speech in the educational setting with an employer. The Supreme Court of the United States has already had cases that allows for a limit on free speech of public employees when that speech maybe causes a substantial disruption, causes a foreseeable disruption, incites violence, and things of those natures. And the issue that happened after Utah merely brought attention to those laws already in place. What I can say is that all along for the last decade, we've been able to take disciplined action against educators or against public school employees for their speech, if that speech met certain tests that they qualify for. Thankfully for us, we don't need to have anything signed. We don't need to issue any documents for signatures. And the reason for that is because the law is already on the side of the school district. And so what I can tell you in terms of what we can protect, how we can protect that, I think that the first step was talking about it here at the board meeting, where we're able to educate ourselves about what the laws regarding this topic are. But certainly also that just goes down to a basic staff development and training, right? Taking the opportunity after an incident like this at the campus levels for principals to talk to their teachers, for administration to talk to their principals about the importance of what we do as educators can reflect BISD as well. And not just for BISD, but for any school district in the state of Texas. And anytime a public education employee, even if their social media is private, if what they're putting out there causes, for example, loss of trust in their ability to be an effective educator, that is a very clear law that allows the district to limit some things. If the educator causes a substantial disruption in classroom or school operations, that already allows the school district to take some action. So I don't know that the question is a matter of, does the Utah incident change anything, as much as I think the Utah incident allowed for us to have these conversations more pointedly about what our role and responsibility of a school district is and what we can do. But the short answer is that BISD already has in its tools, like any other district in Texas, to be able to protect student safety, classroom safety, limit disruptions, and ensure that we don't have anyone disrupting our community or making our kids feel unsafe or our parents feel unwelcome for having their kids here at BISD.
What
Thank
are
you.
those
And
tools? He
I
doesn't
don't know,
say
Dr.
those.
Chavez and maybe Mr. Ramirez, would you recommend maybe letting the teachers know about this, maybe getting these laws and these policies and emailing to them to say, hello, everybody, pay attention to this? Because we have all kind of people standing up here, you see the protester, you see organizations like, come on, we're in the education system. This is different. Please understand, you've got to know the difference between A and B. And sometimes they forget and they don't realize until they turn around and step into it. So can we have some kind of paperwork sent to our employees, especially our administrators, because they're looked at as somebody way up here. So I tell people, I know you don't think I want to get online and let you know how I feel about each and every one of you. Oh yeah, but no, it would not benefit anyone. It would hurt you. So you turn around and say, that's my feeling. I keep it to myself and I deal with it and I fix it myself. I don't throw it out there. So can we send them maybe a copy of all of those to make them understand? Because I heard that some people even address it with some of these employees and they said, oh, I'm protected. I said, they don't realize they're working for a public entity. There's a few little things that are tweaked in there to protect our students and to protect our school district. So could we please send them the laws and how they're written and the policies so they can understand, once they're in the role of a teacher or an administrator on district time with the students, certain things you're not allowed to do. You cannot please do that. So can we send them out to protect them at the same time that we protect our students?
So I can work with Dr. Chavez to find out what would be the most effective way for us to provide guidance for our educational leaders so they're aware of the current laws that are in place and how we work through those.
And that's the reason for my item, is just to make sure we bring it up to date and educate our teachers and administrators.
Ms. Scranton.
Thank you, Madam President. Teachers have a code of ethics, and that's in every handbook at every campus. The code of ethics tells teachers that they don't have the liberty to do anything that would compromise their teacher-pupil relationship and render them incapable of doing the job that they're hired to do. That is there, it's always been there, and it will forever be there. Yes, it is the First Amendment right to say things, but if you are going to say things that's going to render you ineffective in a school district, we don't need you. And so I think you need to look at it at two levels. One is the proactive level, which is the training. Dr. Chavez has principal meetings periodically with the principals, and that would be the perfect forum to revisit that, because this is not a strange thing to educators. Everybody knows this. And in college,
Well, no, not everybody
it's
does
pointed
know
out to
this.
you. So at the first level, it's a proactive level. At the second level, then, is the reactive level, which is if an educator passes that threshold and accomplishes ruining their career, then that's when the district has to use the policies that are in place so that that won't be a problem in the district. Dr. Chavez, thank you.
Ms. Garza.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez Valdez. And
Wait.
Mr. Ramirez, thank you for
Was she talking to Dr. Chavez or was she talking to Daniela? Like, oh, she begins like she's rambling on there a little bit there, but she has a point. But those rules are in place. Have they ever really been used? What are those tools specifically? And I'm glad that the attorney pointed out that no, guys, you don't have a First Amendment right to everything you want to be able to say, because you are teachers, you are educators, whatever that word, that fancy word they want to use. And I'm hoping that the unions were there still to listen to what they're saying, what he is saying, because it's not being used as Gamboa is saying, that it's being used as a weapon. It's not. It's always been there. Just like, the Golden Girl said, it's always been there for us to be able to use and then Ms. Peña is saying to protect, the school district and to protect them. We don't want those kinds of teachers around. We don't want teachers who are going to be celebrating death and making individuals who are conservatives, feel uncomfortable. Remember, Charlie Kirk was somebody that was preaching to the young people, and people really liked him. They maybe they heard about him at church because they go to church with their parents still, and they listen to some of the things that the Turning Point USA was doing in churches, in our community, in communities throughout the country. And if you see your teacher saying these things online, potentially, I don't know why you're online and seeing it from your teacher. That's a different discussion for another day. But let's say you see what your teacher is posting and celebrating this guy, it's gonna make you feel bad. It's gonna hurt you. But you do not have a First Amendment right completely as a public sector employee. You don't. And I'm glad that the attorney from O'Hanlon pointed that out. And yay. Any thoughts so far, Frankie?
Yes, again, we are big believers in First Amendment rights. I am. But we have to understand that it does come with a consequence. If we think that we can say whatever and nothing's going to happen to us, look, I am my own person. I'm an insurance agent. I run my own business. The things that I say possibly may not be received well with my clients. I've already been fired by my clients. Oh, you said this, you said that. What am I going to tell them? Oh, no, my First Amendment right. I could say anything. You can't fire me. Hell no. What the difference between myself and a teacher that works for a certain school district, while I do have freedom of speech, of my First Amendment right, I know that it could affect me. This program, it could affect my professional career. I'm already at peace with that. I understand that everything that I say could potentially affect my pocketbook. The school district, the employees think, oh, I could say anything and no repercussions are going to come my way. What about those employees working for a business? What if that business does not like what they have to say? What if the business is not aligned with those beliefs, Roman? That business could fire those employees. Why? Because it's going to affect that business. And that's something that I think is not being talked about. The teachers believe that they could say anything. Oh, I'm on my free time. I'm out of, off the clock. It's past 5 p.m. Whatever I post, whatever I do outside of the scope of work, I'm okay. Not necessarily, because I would dare make the argument, Roman, that teachers, employees of the school district represent that very school district that they work for. They can't go out in public and drink and drive and crash and say, oh, well, I'm on my time off. No, they could be subject to termination. Why? Because they are a representation of the school district.
As I think it's very telling that these associations, these unions who represent these teachers, I don't think they understand that. I think that they have been coddled by these board members into believing that they'll always be protected because they endorse these individuals. They get elected, that nothing they do will get punishment. So, like, let's say they have a problem with the superintendent and they get a problem, they file agreement. They think they're gonna they're gonna be protected. They're not. I mean, the parents themselves who file grievances can't be protected and given, support by these board members. Do you really think you as a teacher is going to get protected by these board members? Of course not. No, it's not going to happen. They're out for themselves. They're not out for anybody else but themselves. That's what these elected politicians are all about. Now, I also believe that we cannot coddle these teachers. I mean, they have to come to the real world. The real world says that if, Frankie, you're a private business entity, private owner, if you're going to get, punished, why aren't these teachers? I mean, they get carte blanche. They have the freedom to say whatever they want to. They can go online and say the things that they were saying about this particular incident specifically, because that seems to have opened up a big can of worms for these teachers because they're showing their true colors. I think the last year or so with our president being the president, I think people are losing their freaking minds, but their truth is coming out. Who they are is coming out, and they cannot help themselves, and they need to be able to control themselves, especially if they're teachers, especially if they work in public sector. It's unfortunate that they don't get that, but we can continue on with the audio because there's some things that Miguel Salinas is going to say that to me kind of contradict what the attorney from O'Hanlon said. It's just my belief, but I'll see what you all think.
I think as a reminder, it's not just the teachers have a code of ethics. I think all our BISD employees hold a certain standard when being employed by our district. And so we also have to remember it's not just 8 to 5, because we could be outside and they will always say, oh, that is that teacher, or oh, that person works at this campus. So we always have to watch how we act, not just on social media, but also, out there and what we say, because yes, we do have freedom of speech, but we have policies in place, and sometimes what we say does come with consequences. And so that's just a reminder to our employees. And we live in a time where unfortunately there's just so much hate out there, right? Coming from all sides. So I think we just have to come back and just unite and just be kind to one another, because we just never know what that individual may be going through. We've seen so much happening, and I think we as a society just need to come together and move forward and remember what we stand for and what our values are. Dr. Chavez?
Frankie, what's interesting is
Let me say
the
that,
values
yes,
that we stand for.
We need to continue working within our district.
I think it's very telling what Denise is saying. What are your values? And what do we stand for? Because I think that certain teachers have completely different effed up values, screwed up values, where they're celebrating, Sandy's saying, celebrating the assassination and justifying it. Those are their values. You as a school board member, the school district has to determine, I believe, what are those the values we want being taught in our schools? I mean, this isn't public schools, private schools, or any, under the age of 18. It's a very different world than when you're a professor trying to get, tenure. You have different types of professors. You want, a wide variety of professors, so that the students can feel, hey, learn from everybody. That's different. That college is different than kids that are being taught from K to 12 or pre-K to 12. So are our values going to be people that are happy that a guy got shot in the neck, bloodied up and everything? Is that going to be our values? And I'm wondering whether or not some of these board members share the values of me and Frankie that think that was disgusting, that was wrong, and those people need to be let go. And I'm wondering, because you're going to have a the BISD attorney, not O'Hanlon, because that's the board attorney. The BISD attorney kind of say, we might end up in court. We're going to get sued for freedom of speech. Oh, freaking out. And it's just like, well, I think we needed to be able to defend certain values, and certain values should not be in our schools, or people that have that kind of mindset think it's okay to celebrate some guy getting shot in the neck, bloodied up, and dead or unalived. So I don't know. I want to agree with what Denise was saying, but I also want it to be pointed out to her and to others is celebrating the assassination of an individual our values. And I think I know Denise very well. I don't think those are her values at all. I think she thinks that's wrong and disgusting and whatever. But at the same time, she will probably have to be a little bit mindful of the fact that she is running. And I'm not saying that she's using this, but she probably has to be mindful of the crazy left that is in her party because she's running as a Democrat. I wish she were running as a Republican, quite frankly, because I know her well enough to believe that she is a conservative. Anyway, sorry. Oh, what is
really our first emphasis really has been to work with our students, right, with regards to what's happened here. But in addition to that, yes, expanding the work that we do with our employees, with our teachers. So I remain very committed to bringing this forward, right, as it relates to making sure that people have the correct information about what they can and cannot do. Certainly, the Code of Ethics comes into play as well, and so we'll review that. We're very committed to doing that.
And if I can just add to Trustee Grantland's earlier statement regarding the proactive part of it, we actually just did a training on this exact issue in the district yesterday for the principals meeting. So those are good forums for that.
Mr. Ortiz?
The attorney, y'all made a presentation, right? To
Yes.
those districts? Well, maybe we can tap into them, Dr. Chavez, okay? But I think that what we need to do is bring up the policies so that they have something in black and white that they can actually see, okay? And then when that is given to the principals, I think we also need to have meetings with teachers as well. It's got to be a top-down type of a process, because sometimes we don't go that route, and employees will come back and say, well, I never knew. I never knew about it. Nobody told me anything about it. I didn't know. And of course, there's always sign-in sheets as well, when we have these trainings and so forth. So I think we need to become, as Ms. Grantland said, proactive, and we need to move on this, but not like yesterday. It's like for tomorrow, as soon as we can, because we don't want this to continue, in the future.
If I may.
What is he
Dr.
talking about?
Chavez, Ms. Lopez Valdez. Every year before the school starts, we have our leadership conference, we have our in-services, we have new teachers, we have coaches, and we remind them about their responsibilities. Every time we break for an extended holiday, HR sends out a reminder that you're bound by the Code of Ethics. We are proactive. We remind our employees constantly what their responsibilities are. We're not going to... I am the attorney for the district, and we have to walk a very fine line, because the First Amendment is resolute. Our policies and procedures are great, but the Constitution trumps all of those things, and we are never going to censor our employees on what they do on their off time. Obviously, what they do on the district's time is something different, but we have to be very careful. We can't be knee-jerk. And I think we were very proactive. Dr. Chavez and I reviewed some of the comments that the individuals, the employees wrote, and we reviewed those, and we didn't think we had crossed the line, but we have to be very careful. And unfortunately, there was a lot of knee-jerk after Utah. But as legal counsel for the district, I can't afford that. So if we're going to tell people what they can and can't do, it has to be very strategic. Because we...
No, I thought he was done already. Let him finish.
We will be in federal court if we cross that line. So, but we are proactive. We tell our employees all the time. Some don't listen, most do. So that's important. But I think it was important for the board to know that, yes, we are on top of this and always have been. And not just because of Utah. We've been doing this for years. Thank you.
Okay.
And if I may, ma'am?
All right, stop. All right. So there's a lot of things that were said in that small amount of time that I want people to really think about. One is that he says that he met with him and the superintendent met together, and he says, correct me if I'm wrong, that nobody crossed the line. Is that what he said, Frankie?
Right.
Okay. Well, if you saw Channel 5, their news story, it's on their website. The superintendent says there are three people that were sent to TEA. If I hope I didn't misunderstand what the superintendent said, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said. So which is it? Did nobody cross the line, or were 3 sent to TEA so they could review? Because the superintendent was saying that they were sent over to TEA because they're going to handle it, not us. We're not the ones who are going to have problems with those. We're not going to do anything to those teachers. We're going to let them do it. We're going to pass the buck, because the buck does not stop with the superintendent on this issue, or the school board. God forbid the school board do something about teachers that may or may. I mean, if that is what the superintendent said, he believes, hey, I passed along because there might be something there. That's very different than what that attorney just said. So maybe if you all are watching in the Glass Palace, maybe the superintendent and the attorney can get together again and have this discussion, and maybe let everybody see what that discussion is. Because I want to know whether or not did somebody cross the line or not. Because if somebody crossed the line enough that you're sending those 3 people over to TEA, somebody did. This attorney is not saying that he didn't. So Miguel, what make up your mind? What is it? That's number one. Am I misreading something there, Frankie? Guys, I guess the chat seems to be in agreement with what I've heard and what I said.
Yeah, you are correct. I did get a message in regards to these comments made by I can't pull it up now. By this teacher, and this happened at Veterans shortly after the Utah incident. They were I asked for a screenshot of the post. They said they didn't want to give it to me, but that they were going to complain. They said, I do want to deal with it myself, but what should I do? And I said, well, file a grievance, make sure that you report it. And I think they did. But this did happen at Veterans. But it's interesting, Roman, because they're making it seem as if what I understood from that take was Miguel Salinas doesn't want to push the issue. He's more worried about getting sued. And look, I understand the role of attorneys. You don't want to end up in court. You want to avoid getting there. But and you're absolutely right, Roman, according to the KRGV story yesterday that I can post, might as well post it now. I will post on the feed for the chat to view. According to Dr. Chavez, he did state that these comments made by 3 different teachers that work for BISD were passed along to TEA. Is the school district not getting involved, Roman? I would think that they would want to do that. They would handle it internally, that they themselves would want to deal with this issue. Are they passing the baton, Roman, to TEA? Do they want TEA to come down on them hard and say, hey, they're sanctioning you. They're telling you that it's wrong. We didn't. If you have an issue, if you want to sue somebody, sue them. Don't sue us. Could that be a possibility? You're on mute.
You did have that. Sorry, that is a possibility. But the superintendent said, we looked at it. We thought there's something there and sent it over. The BIC took some action, but it's very different than what Miguel Salinas said. Very different. Miguel Salinas said nobody crossed the line. Nobody did anything wrong. Blah, 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 blah. Again, maybe I'm putting words in his mouth, but that's what I interpreted from what he was saying. And I think everyone else sort of agrees with what I'm saying. And if I'm wrong, maybe he can come out and tell us, hey, Roman, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. That's not what I was saying. I think saying no one crossed the line versus 3 being sent is very different. Very different, but whatever. The other thing that Miguel said there was that the First Amendment is resolute. Now, do I agree that the First Amendment is the First Amendment? What it says, I believe what it says. Yes, 100%. But we just had a freaking attorney that represents the board that gets paid. What I think we came up with the 240,000 or more or whatever the hell they get paid a month, their month to month. To say like, no, we have case law, we have state law, we have this, all these things that say you don't have a resolute First Amendment right to say whatever the hell you want to say, and they're not going to be repercussions to what you say. So does Miguel Salinas not understand that? Like, does he really not grasp that? Is that why he gets paid? I think at one point, I think, Carlos was going to say he gets paid like $200,000. Did he not know that? Does he not? What kind of attorney is he? Like, I think even me as a layperson understands that a public sector employee doesn't have a complete, resolute, 100% ability to say whatever you want to. Again, if the First Amendment is resolute, then why the hell is the district sending out these emails, long breaks, and telling what you can and cannot do? Why is he saying these things? If they have a resolute First Amendment, they can do whatever the hell they want to off the clock. Then why the hell are you going through all this, hoops to do all these things? Just don't even send it out. It's not even worth the ink you used in the email. Now I get it. There's no ink in the email. I'm trying to, make a point. Come on. Like, why the hell do all that stuff if the First Amendment resolute? Because it's not, Miguel, and it's not. You know that it's not going to prevent the school district from getting rid of somebody. If somebody goes out there and screams out that I want to do bad things to certain people, you don't think you can fire them, Miguel? Really? So what if you go into court? Yeah, you go into court, you're gonna win your case. Come on. What the hell's wrong with you, Miguel? Like, it was not a good look. And good. Is it because he wants to play nice to the unions? Because he's being political with these guys? Like, he doesn't want to piss off the unions? Dude, you piss off the unions enough whenever you when you're on the other side representing them in grievances. Trust me, you piss some of them off. Because that's your job. You're a lawyer. You piss people off. Hell, I piss people off and I'm not even a lawyer. What the hell? Sorry. I have to apologize. I'm being bad, Roman. Being just so annoyed. Anyway, any thoughts, Frankie?
No, just tell them how you really feel, Roman. I just found the message. It says, "Hey, you, who do I need to talk to in main office in reference to a teacher at Vets bashing Trump and talking crap about what happened to Charlie Kirk? I already spoke to the principal, but I don't think she'll do anything about it. I'd rather go talk to someone in the main office. I don't want to make a post until I speak to somebody. I just need the info on who to speak to. Sorry, I didn't realize you were still live." Again, these teachers, they need to be careful. While we understand that there is this idea of freedom of speech, they do represent the school district. They are a representation of BISD. So for them to think that, I could say anything without anything happening to me, again, they are governed by a certain code of ethics. And how you said earlier, what bothered me the most about all this is that some people were celebrating this man being assassinated. To me, it's kind of mind-boggling. It's like, really? Like, if that happened to you, would you want people to celebrate? And they said, "Oh, well, he believed in the Second Amendment right." And I was like, well, yeah, but he preached peace. He didn't preach to go out and use violence against other people who don't agree with you. Again, difference of opinion, but it is interesting that it seems as if they're trying to walk the line, Roman. The super says, "Oh, well, we did report it to TEA, but we didn't do anything internally." So if they, again, to what you said, if they felt as if nothing was wrong, why did they forward that to TEA? Is it by law that they have to forward each and every comment or incident that kind of totes that line? Is it?
I don't know. Maybe he got scared by the letter that the TA commissioner sent out to all the superintendents. Maybe he got scared of an email. But they are turning a blind eye. They are trying to pass the buck. They do something. If the superintendent felt strongly that, hey, these guys might have crossed the line, bring it to the board. Let's see. Why are these people so damn scared of teachers and their teacher unions? Why the hell? That's what it feels like. They're terrified of, like, please, don't do anything, guys. Please, the teachers, we like you. We think you're priceless. Minerva Peña said. Minerva used the term that they're priceless. No, they're not priceless. Teachers are no, they're not. You hold them to this freaking level of statute. They're freaking teachers with a bachelor's degree. Big deal. There's a bunch of people with bachelor's degrees that can probably get a job. They can probably do better than some of these teachers. If they're out there celebrating the death of a man. Think about it, guys. I mean, we don't, I hate to agree with the Golden Girl because she's not the brightest person on that freaking board. Although, maybe she did say this, we don't need you. She said that. If you're going to say these things, we don't need you. You're right. She's right. We don't need you. The door is there. Get the hell out. But no, these teachers really want this job so bad. I mean, if you want to go out there protesting and you hate Trump, you hate the president, you hate go ahead and do that on your own time. You don't have to be a teacher. You know what? Go get a PhD and be a college professor, and then you can be able to say whatever the hell you want to. But you're a teacher. If you don't like it, there's other jobs out there. You don't have to be a teacher. But these guys are so terrified of them. So freaking terrified of them. Oh, they're great people. Like, we don't want them to get in trouble. Oh, and then you have stupid, Frank Ortiz out there. We need to have a meeting. We have a meeting. How many freaking meetings do you have to have? Again, a lot of this stuff could have been done in a freaking email. I'm gonna agree. You don't need teachers. No, I'm agreeing with the Golden Girl. If you're going to say stupid stuff like you think a guy should have been killed and celebrating that stuff, no, we don't need you. We don't need you. We need the other freaking teachers that are good teachers, not those teachers. Get it? I mean, it's not complicated. Jesus.
Let's continue.
Thank you.
We
Ms. Peña?
did reach time
Yes,
with Ms. Peña.
yeah, well, yeah, but the thing is, what I want to know is, you says one thing and he says another thing. My thing is, we need to put like a policy that means, I know what he's saying, but we're not going to cross the line. I've seen how you do it, and I've seen how Dr. Chavez is do it. I believe in freedom of speech, but when you're a teacher, you're talking a different story. So can you please write something up to tell them specifically, and not for them to say, well, freedom of speech, and look, the attorney said, no. You are at a different level. You're our teacher. You are developing our
Ms.
society.
Peña, you have reached your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
For the record, I do agree with everything that
Yes, no, I agree
the
with it,
attorney
but
said.
let's
I
do
think
it.
it's
Wait, now they
we're
agree
viewing it
with
from
you?
two different
Wait,
angles.
what?
But yes, I agree with everything he also said.
But I agree that we
you
can do it in
agree
a
with
proper
that?
manner
You just
and not
said
be
there's rules
afraid
and
that we're
laws
gonna
and
cross the line,
stuff.
because you're not going to do that, am I right?
I'm going to leave this issue to board counsel and our staff attorney. Thank you all.
May I?
Mr. Elizondo.
Yes. Just want to make sure that we understand, if you're going to go educate our staff, we got to also start with the leader as well. We got to make sure that you're included in that education as well, because everything falls on you, regardless of whatever happens, right? So I want to make sure that you're included in that so that everybody knows that not only are they going to be educated, but our superintendent is going to be educated as well with all the process. Thank you.
Carlos never misses a
Dr.
chance to
Chavez?
do something like that, right?
Let me say that whenever we deal with an issue like this, yes, we work together. And I say work together from the standpoint of here, Mr. Salinas have been meeting, a number of times with regards to this issue. You know that the agency's become involved with this, right? And so we work with the agency as well as it relates to what information gets reported. So here, I'm telling you that I'm committed to doing the right thing. And yes, we as a district are going to move forward. So we'll work on that.
No action on this item. Next
Okay,
item.
we're gonna stop.
Item
Okay.
4, discussion,
Let's stop.
consideration, and possible action
Let's stop
regarding
it.
the
Hold on. Okay. So at no point in time in the entire discussion did your superintendent say, oh, by the way, what he said was wrong. We sent 3 people. At no point did he say, why? Why did he only tell Channel 5 that, but not the public in an open meeting? Why didn't he do that? Why? What again, does he think nobody watches Channel 5? Does he think that nobody cared about that? Isn't that pertinent information that was never shared to anybody on the board publicly? Like, what the hell is he hiding? People need to, am I the only one who saw Channel 5 last night? I don't think I was, because somebody agreed with me. You saw the report now, Frankie. Why the hell didn't the superintendent say anything about it? That's number one. And number two, Why the hell did the freaking, BISD board attorney now say, I agree with 100%? So everything that you said earlier about, there's laws, there's this, there's the superintendent, I'm sorry, the Supreme Court said all these things, all that crap, not out the freaking window? Because you agree with 100%, because what he said was very different than what you were saying. Very different. It's like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Why can't, Minerva Peña on this one issue, freaking, like, great, fabulous, fantastic, except for saying that teachers are priceless. There's only one person in priceless in the world, it's Jesus Christ. Okay, nobody else is priceless. But I guess I'm being funny on that one. Come on, don't be a freaking. I'm gonna use a word that somebody else, imbecile. Like, geez, what is wrong with these people? Am I missing something about just an imbecile or just playing stupid? Super saw the clip about it. Yeah, there you go. Like, why didn't he say something? See something, say something. See something, say something. Isn't that one of those little slogans that teachers or school people use? It just pisses me off that we have a bunch of so all of this could have been done in an email, basically, because there was no action taken, nothing they could have a motion. They could have said, you know what, we're going to order you to do this. Why didn't Minerva do that? Why didn't La Golden Girl do that? Why didn't anybody offer something concrete? Not like, hey, we kind of think you should do this. Oh, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do an email. We're going to do a meeting. We're going to maybe we'll do all this. Do something in freaking writing. Do something right. And you don't. And that's the fault of Minerva. Because Minerva says, maybe we need to do something in writing. That's what she sort of said, right? Why didn't she do it? Why don't you, instead of coming to the board and, being lost in space, doing whatever the hell you're saying, and sometimes being right, sometimes being wrong, many times being wrong. Why didn't you have something in writing? Why didn't you all come up with something so that they say, we're going to do all these things? Or before the meeting, get together with the attorney, work out something so you can present something so there's something concrete so these teachers can know it. Not passing the buck here, let's talk about it. You might as well be doing a freaking podcast. That's what that freaking section was all about. Me and you and the chat are talking about is essentially what they freaking did. They did nothing. We're doing nothing. We're just talking. I want you to keep watching. Please continue to watch. Because, shaping the narrative over here. Ha, ha, ha. God.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
RFQ approved by the board.
Okay, so now we're done with the Charlie Kirk and First Amendment rights. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about the issue in regards to insurance. And this is where it gets very interesting. This is where we're starting to see board members start freaking out, start sweating a little bit. Because I think there is this idea, Roman, that board members, they are starting to freak out because they feel as if someone, could be a board member, could be an administrator, someone could potentially be arrested in the near future. Let's continue.
Elizondo board support, Nita Ruth Grantland.
Mr. Elizondo?
Yeah, I just want to make a motion so that we go out for RFQs, understanding that we do have a month-to-month attorney firm right now. It's costing us a lot of money. But we want to make sure that we go out there, and like we've done in the past, make sure that we follow the process and see what is in the best interest of the school district.
And I think they just did, Trustee Elizondo, because we got an invitation.
Yes, sir. I'd like for Mr. Salinas to give us an update on that.
Yes, we've already started that process. We've already advertised. We've set a timeline. Ms. Pena is here. But we've started that process, and we will be receiving requests for qualifications. And obviously, we're going to, in consultation with the board, last time I think the board, I don't think they heard from everyone. I don't know if they want us to do the initial screening and bring a certain amount to the board, but we've already started that process.
Yeah, I think it should be left to the board. I don't want the administration to be involved with it, right? It makes the board, because we're the ones that are actually going to approve the firm, right? So
yes, sir.
I would like the least amount of administration hands to be touching the process. Of course, go out and do what you have to do by law, but bring it to us, bring the information so that each and every one of us can actually look at the information and make a good decision. But also, my other question is, why did it take so long?
I think we started immediately after the board directed us to go out for RFQs. We've already advertised.
I don't think so, because it was like second, I think Mr. Ortiz had mentioned to the superintendent, we had voted on it for some months, and then it took a long time to get the process
You
moving.
mean like in June?
Just wondering why it took so long.
Well, we're within the time frame, right? And I say that from the aspect, no, did we get it out the first week? No, probably not the first week, right? So here, it's out, and we'll bring that information as soon as we're able to, as far as meeting the deadline at, taking applications and getting that process going for you.
So
it's set up
that's in
and
June.
going.
Thank you.
You knew about this in June.
Question.
Ms. Peña?
Can Ms. Peña come up and give us a timeline, please? From beginning
Ooh.
to what the end's going to be?
Good evening, Madam President, board members, audience. Yes, Ms. Peña, the process or the tentative, or not the tentative timeline, the set timeline is, we already are at our second advertisement. In other words, it's been advertised first and second, right? And we're
Dates?
scheduled,
Can you give me the dates, please?
oh, I'm sorry, the first advertisement was Saturday. And a reminder, the Brownsville Herald does not advertise on Sundays anymore, so we
Yeah,
only
'cause
get
they're trash.
Saturday.
I'm
I know,
Sorry.
but I know, but I want the date.
September 27, 2026, 25, sorry. Second advertisement, Saturday, October 4th.
Okay, let's stop there.
So we're going to need 10 days out to market after the second advertisement.
Okay, let's stop there. So there's two different things that Carlos was talking about. One, it was in June, right? When they decided you're not going to use this contract guy. We're not going to use it. It was in June, and we're talking July, August, September, 3 months. It's taken 3 months for it to go out and to advertise it. But the problem that Carlos has here is that at no point in time did he put it on the agenda that we need to go to RFQs or RFPs or whatever. It's his fault that data wasn't on there. He should have put it on the agenda in June when they voted not to do it. You had several meetings to do it. It's your fault, Carlos, that it didn't happen sooner. But at the end of the day, it's clear that that's what was going to have to happen by the board, that the superintendent and his staff should have gone out to say, okay, are we going to go out for bids? What are we going to do? And start planning it, not wait until the item was put on the agenda. I want to say in September. I think it was either August or September. Maybe we have to look at the meeting when that item was put on the agenda. But that's on Carlos. That's on Minerva. That's on Frank. That's on the Golden Girl. That's what they should have done. And I think somebody's asking us who we call the Golden Girl and why we call it the Golden Girl, because she looks like the Golden Girl. We call her the Beauty Queen because she's the Beauty Queen. So yeah. And also I'd like to disagree with you, Amar, Sandra. I don't think that that Charlie had a racist ideology. But hey, we're not going to talk about that no more. But yeah. So am I wrong there, Frankie? Am I misremembering things?
No. Playing devil's advocate, Roman, isn't it fair to say that Carlos Elizondo, when this idea that they were going to advertise was going to get done, you don't think, again, just playing devil's advocate, you don't think that the board members, whenever they make a request, whenever something is set to happen, that they expect things to be done in a timely manner? Is this something to where they have to constantly keep administrators, the Glass Palace, on the hot seat and say, hey, why hasn't this been done? I would think that them being professionals, hey, we have to meet this request by this board member or by the board. I understand that, it has been 3 months or 4 months now since that last meeting where they did advise the board or the administration that they are supposed to start advertising. I understand where you're coming from, that possibly, maybe Carlos Elizondo, Frank Ortiz didn't pressure them enough, didn't remind them enough. But again, I would think that these people would know that, hey, this should be done in a timely manner, that this should be done, within weeks, possibly.
Mm.
Now I understand that things do take time. It's not like if it happens from one day to the next, from 1 week from another week to the next. You have to crunch numbers, you have to think about logistics, you have to get with the people at the advertising agency, this being the Brownsville Herald or any other agency or advertising business that is going to promote this opening. I just find it hard to believe that these individuals, and I say that because of what Carlos Elizondo says later on. I don't want to get ahead of the game, but that's the reason. And when he says it, I'll stop it and I'll say this is what I meant, because you have to understand Carlos. Carlos says things to like catch you, to say, hey, like he's very good at that. He's very good at throwing the bait and then people falling and be like, no. Like, so I'll wait until he says it and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So that'll run October the 6th through October the 17th. The submission date is Tuesday, October 21st at 10 a.m. Opening will be Tuesday, October 21st at 10:15 a.m. Processing of the submitted solicitations, in other words, we're getting all the packets together, performing the matrix, will be Tuesday through Friday, October 21st to October 24th. And the presentations by the submissions, in other words, by the attorney firms, together with ranking by the board, will be done at a special call board meeting scheduled for Tuesday, November the 18th.
Thank you, Ms. Peña. And just to remind the board, we got a big packet that was given to us with this schedule and all of the details, so you all can review those as well. And please ask your questions, as this is our duty here for the next timeline. Any other questions?
Yes.
Ms. Peña?
Just real quick, and we got this huge packet. Oh my God, it was huge. So I know, sir, if we could, and I'll bring them to you. Can you make the holes so I can put them in a binder and not just a bunch of papers in a thing where I open it and they're all falling apart everywhere? I'll gladly buy the binders myself and bring them to you guys, since and it's really hard because they're all stapled. I know my colleagues are laughing here, but we're in a position where if you give me a binder, I can turn the page without it flying off my hand because there's 300 pages, and I'll be glad to pay for the binder, sir. Just please don't send them to us in that manner because it's too hard to go through. But I'll take.
And I just want to thank the staff for putting those packets together, because it was a lot of time, and I know, Ms. Peña, you probably spent a lot of time on it. So I appreciate you all for doing that, and I think we can do our best to use the items that we do have, and make sure that our staff is doing their job.
Thank you, Ms. Peña. You did an excellent job, and I know not having binders is nothing on you. It's the people at the top. So thank you, because you put a really good thing together. I really like that package. It's just too hard to read with 300 pages that are loose like that. But thank you.
Thank you.
No action. Next item.
Item 5, discussion and possible action to authorize the issuance of a request for qualifications, RFQ for medical and pharmacy plan options, including level funded models. Board member request, Carlos Elizondo. Board support, Nita Ruth Grantlin.
Madam President, I actually am going to suggest that we also do number 6. They're a similar item, right? The same item. So if we can do those two together.
I'd like to keep my motion as it stands. I'd like to make a motion to approve for an RFQ, go out for the schools to go on RFP and follow the process, making sure that we get the best interest for our school district and our employees.
And excuse me, if you put them together, you limit our time, Dr. Chavez, so please keep them separate. Because
Smart, Milloneta. That's smart.
Well, right now, you would just have a motion to go out for RFQs. Is that correct, Mr. Elizondo?
That's correct, just the way it stands.
That's the way it says.
Yeah, second.
Second.
Okay.
We have a first and a second. On terms of the discussion on this matter, I will revert to number 5, and I think that we can have a better discussion on number 5. But if we have a first and a second and they want to take the vote, that's fine. I think that number 5 is more encompassing of taking action that will be benefit the district.
Well,
Thank you.
let me just caution the board.
I apologize. I wanted to say number 5 and 6.
Let me just caution the board, insurance is not professional services, and we have an Attorney General opinion that is now 30 years old that we cannot solicit insurance proposals that are going to exceed over $25,000 via request for qualifications. It has to be through a competitive seal process or a bidding process. So I would caution the board, even if we went out for RFQs, we would be circumventing state law.
So how can we do it, Mr. Salinas?
Hold on, let me ask Mr.
Sir, so
Go ahead.
yes, so that is correct regarding the way it's written in terms of RFQ. When we were going over it, we did bring that up in being faithful to the trustees' request. We left it the way it was. It can always be amended, right? I mean, to bring it back with the CSP on there, but the way it is, it wouldn't be able to be through an RFQ.
Okay, well, that's why we pay you. So you could have told me this before. We could have done it the legal way. So just ask me how it's supposed to be presented the legal way, and then we can make that motion.
Yes, so it would be to a CSP, the way it's written in the next item. And that's initially why I suggested to board president that we can put them together, because I didn't want to lose out on the opportunity to go out for the CSP.
Can you do it together and at the time and not cut
So
the
We
time?
can, yes.
The problem with number 6 is the timeline. It's not till next year.
I understand, okay.
So the best interest to the school district employees is to get them a deal now, not next year.
So,
So that's the reason that I was bringing it up.
sure, so from the perspective of the posting of the agenda, I have no issue with if you amending your motion to a CSP if you like, even though it says RFQ, but we're still giving proper notice of the topic, which is, for what it is. That being said, the only concern that I would ask the board is the issue regarding if we go out for, even if we go out for CSPs right now, it's October 7th, your new year is going to start already in January with the current provider you already have, and I don't know that you're going to make it in time.
You're saying that it's never happened in the past to where a district or an agency is under a time restraint, unable to complete the task?
No, there is, and
Thank you.
I guess let me just explain it a little bit differently. Now with, for example, the new open meetings posting, where we cannot have meetings outside of business hours on non-business days, it takes away a lot of our times when we can meet to satisfy some of these. The answer is that I think it'd be in a really tight time crunch, and I don't know that the current posting requirements would allow us for it. That being said, if you approve it and we go forward, we'll have to figure out how to do that.
Wait,
Correct.
what?
And this is all to the intent that the employer or the benefit of the insurance plan is going to benefit, not any of us. This is the reason why I want to go out there, because the way it stands is they're not going to get a very good deal if we move with number 6. And so that's why there's a lot of concerns that were brought up to me, and of course some of these board members, of that reason, especially the people with families,
Yes.
where they're going to get a bad deal.
So we did amend it to CSP.
Yes, I can amend my motion. If you remove your second, I'll re-amend.
I'll remove the second.
Scratland.
I'll amend my motion to
CSP.
to the CSP as dictated by law.
Second.
Before we do anything else, I'd like to get some clarification.
Okay, hold on, wait.
Will
Hold on, give me a
this
second.
impact the
This is,
I'm a
this is
little-
where, this
this is where it
she-
gets
and-
interesting.
yeah, this is where it gets very interesting.
Right, wait, but the thing is I want to revert back to what the attorney just said, the new posting rule that we can only meet during working hours now. Then
Mhm.
I think the meeting, is he talking just about special meetings or regular meetings, or what is he talking about? Because this meeting started at 5:30.
Right.
And it's correct me if I'm wrong, but the calendars we're in October now. I think last month was September. Then why the hell are we having a meeting at 5:30? Are 5:30 working hours? Like, am I missing something? Am I confused? I don't know what he was talking about. New posting regulate rules and laws and stuff like. But then again, I don't know if laws really matter anymore. But it matters to something, but not everything. I don't know. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to do stuff like that. Oh no, they're worried about the laws. Exactly, suerte. Don't worry about the laws. But yeah, this is where it starts to get interesting. You want to, set it up before they get into it. Like, what is the problem? It's because there's two items on the agenda, right? There's this item in number 5, which has to do with going out for bids. That he wants to go out for bids for the insurance for prescriptions medical and they want to start in January 1st. They may not have enough time to be able to do it, is what this attorney's saying. He's right. They don't have the time. They don't have enough time to do that. But the other item is, and that one was approved by the Golden Girl. She seconded this item to be on the agenda. And then the next item on the agenda, she puts it on the agenda, and it was seconded by Daniela. And that one is to, we're going to allow, this contract with, I think it's United. I think United Health is the one that provides the contract or provides the insurance for BISD, and allow that to continue on. And we're going to go out for bids so that as soon as this contract ends, we have a new contract with United or with a different buyer or different insurer. Is that about right, Frankie?
Yes, it's in regards to pharmaceuticals and insurance. Carlos is making the push for, well, can we get rid of them now? Has it been done before? It's not out of the ordinary for other school districts to terminate the contract, but then we're going to get into how lawsuits and things. Again, pay attention to what the Golden Girl has to say. And I told Roman that she's answering to what he's been saying as of late. From just a quick
I have a fan.
Roman.
You think I have a fan? I have a fan?
Yeah. Oh. I have an OnlyFans. You have an actual fan. Yeah. So for those that want feed pics and other pics, contact me. I'm kidding.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
No, I'm being serious. In regards to the Golden Girl, pay attention to what she says, ladies and gentlemen, because the last meeting, if I'm not mistaken, the special call board meeting on a Friday, in late September, if I'm not mistaken,
which also happened after hours, just so you know, it happened after hours.
Right. Mid to late September, the Golden Girl abstained. She was it was a 3-3 lock in regards to this very important issue, and now there are questions in regards to her playing both sides. She second one issue in regards to the pharmaceutical, and then she second another issue in regards to the insurance. And listen to what she has to say. And that is the crux of this whole program. So listen to what she has to say, ladies and gentlemen.
Going out for medical, will that impact 6?
Yes.
In what way?
In the sense that, well, so I don't mean to defer this to the board, but because these are board member items, right? Mm-hmm. I cannot gauge what it is what we're trying to achieve here, right? Mm-hmm. If you approve 5 to go out for CSPs, okay, and you approve it, and then you go to 6, and then you approve CSPs to begin in April, you're putting me in a position to make a call for the board where I'm going to say, hey, this second item dictates the timeline for the one that he just approved, but he's explicitly stating that he wants to start this now. So I think we're going to have conflicting issues for the board if we do that. So if you go out and you approve number 5 to go out for CSPs immediately, that means that we have work to do to come back to the board rather immediately, perhaps in a special meeting, to let you know, hey, this is the impact of this. This is what would cause with our current contract. This is what we need to do. This is our proposed timeline. This is what we need you all for meeting. So we'll have to do that work. But I would say that then the next item on the CSP part, you already took action on it on number 5. So it would impact the next item because the CSP has already been spoken for previously on the same meeting.
And the reason I use CSP is I researched this extensively. And thank you to our staff members for all the information, and realized that it needed to be a concealed, a sealed proposal. Thank you.
Dr. Chavez?
I'm going to give you my thoughts and my recommendation. Here, as we look at the current contract that we have a current third year. It was approved by the board. That's the contract we have. So in saying to a decision or to what we've been for to say, oh, we're not going to honor that 3-year contract. Well, I just need to tell you and everybody else here what the consequences may be, right, or what the result may be. And here it's a situation where, do I anticipate being sued? Well, that's a possibility, right? That this company that we have a 3-year contract will produce a lawsuit against the district that we have violated the contract that we have. So I want to talk a little bit about that, right, from the aspect of, yes, is that where we want to go? For my perspective, the situation of taking a look at changing what we have, I'm open to that. I'm open to that. And here as it relates to timeline, for our employees, for the district, yes, we would continue with the third year, which again, we've got a contract for to move forward with. And yes, we would do the study, bring some people in to think about, okay, so what insurance do we want? Because there are different modes of going forward with insurance. Have that discussion and say, oh, we want to take a look at both. We want to take a look at this model. We want to take a look at that model. I'm happy to do that. I'm open to doing that. But again, I would not be wanting to do that by canceling this contract with the possibility of us then going to court over it.
Sir, let me just interject,
well,
sir. Have we canceled contracts in the past, sir? Have we been sued or not?
I'm sure
I'm not
there
asking
are
you, sir.
districts that do
I'm asking the
this, right?
attorney.
So I'm going to go ahead and stop there and.
Thank you. Just real quick, just to answer his question, he's, Chicken Little's, the sky's falling. Has contracts in the past been canceled?
So we've been with BISD for about 2 years. I don't know that.
In your other districts?
Yes, contracts have been canceled. School boards can cancel contracts.
How many times have they been sued?
Sometimes, but I mean, it just depends
Almost
on
never?
the contract. A few times.
Right. So this is what I'm trying to say. You don't scare the individuals to make an educated decision on what's most beneficial for our employees. Not even for me. Not for none of us. None of us are on the insurance except the superintendent. My
does
biggest
get
thing is
insurance,
just
by the
if
way.
there is a better option, let's look for it. If there's not, this contract is not going to go away until January 1st. This is what I'm trying to say. If there's a better option for the employees so they don't have to put any more out of pocket because of the mismanagement of this board, and now we're putting the 7 million or 9 million on the backs of our employees to cover the deficit, is what I'm trying to say. If there is a better option, sir, let's look for it now, not next year. You're burdening our employees with more burden that they need, especially with no raise, 2% raise.
Question?
I have Ms. Grantland, I have Ms. Gonzalez first, then Ms. Grantland, then Ms. Peña.
Thank you. First and foremost, I didn't have that on my notes, but just for clarity for the community, Dr. Chavez does not have insurance with the district. That is also part of his contract. Just a simple reading of the contract will tell you that. He is not insured by the district.
Simple
and
reading.
I want to
You
say
can read?
nobody else. But I do have a concern with breaking a contract, even though it might have been done before, but I do have a concern with breaking a contract for quote-unquote no cause. I worry what that is going to do for other bidders wanting to come to us. I don't want to be known as a district that breaks contracts. So that is extremely, extremely concerning because not just insurance, I'm thinking maintenance, I'm thinking curriculum, I don't want to be known for somebody that breaks contracts. That puts us in a very dangerous position. We want people to bid with us. We don't want people to be afraid to bid with us. Thank you.
She's not wrong.
I'd just like to point something out because I see that my name is on
Listen
on
to this,
support
listen to this.
for item for the medical, the going out for RFQs. I gave that support prior to the issue with the EBC, prior to the item that came in with the recommendation from the Employees Benefits Committee. That support was given quite a while ago. And so I don't want
Wait.
to
Stop
muck
there.
up the
Stop,
works
stop,
by
stop.
having my name be on one of them and then on the other one, because
Okay. I want to make sure, I'm sorry I'm going to piece, and I wanted you to play the whole thing if you can rewind it. She's saying that she gave what support long ago. What is she saying, Frankie? Did she gave the support for Carlos's item or to Daniela's item? Because it wasn't Daniela's item, it was her item, and I believe Daniela seconded it. So she gave long time support a long time ago before the committee gave its recommendation. But that item from the committee had been an item early last month. So she's saying she gave Carlos support before last month, before September. I understand that the committee only gave the recommendation, what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago? Like 2 weeks ago? I know they gave the recommendation, but they tabled the damn thing. The item was already there. If she wouldn't have done it, she would have known about it earlier in the month. And remember, they do these agenda items 2 weeks in advance. Like they have one stinking meeting, and 2 weeks before, they're already talking about what's going to be on the agenda for the next item. So at what point in time did she give promises or wanting to put this item on the agenda before the committee gave its recommendation? Am I missing something? Since I have a fan, since she's trying to communicate with me, am I missing something?
No, you're spot on. It's very confusing. And again, pay attention to what she says next, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
She's trying to backtrack, and she's answering what Roman was criticizing her about. So take a listen.
Oh yeah, but this is the part I don't even think I was really paying attention to what she was saying until you told me, hey, I think she was talking to you. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. So this is really the first time I'm getting a chance to know that she's talking to me. I know I said that earlier but I was kidding. Okay, let's hear La Golden Girl have a conversation with me in the past.
Because I want to just make it very clear that support was given before the fact.
The only other thing that would happen with this one, if we go out for this, is that eventually we would need to bring the other contract back to the board for some action, where we can talk about the merits of what that would mean for the board if you were to go out for CSPs right now.
Dr. Cantu, I believe you have your hand.
I was going to speak next before she does, please. I'm sorry, ma'am.
Were you answering Ms. Granlund?
Yes, I was going
sorry.
to address the question regarding, or the comment that Ms. Granlund talked about. The timeline, I did check with our procurement office to look at the timeline. If we wanted to go to procurement, we need 150 days to complete the process as outlined by law. And so I also asked her to give me a tentative timeline as to when we could start ASAP, and including those 150 days. So if we were to start, I know that the agenda item talks about April, but if we were to start in April, that takes us all the way till August the 18th. To be able to start the conversation with EBC and then bring it to the board for a board workshop. So that's just to give you a timeline that even if we began in March, the entire process, because of the 90 days, the posting, there's a lot of detail here. It's got to be 2 postings, submissions, the openings, the committees. So that process, and I do have a draft copy, President Lopez Valdez, if you would like to see it. It is a draft, but I did ask Ms. Peña to give me something so that I could be able to share with you that there is a lengthy process involved for the procurement.
Thank you. If you can show that, pass that to us, that would be great. I know I have Ms. Peña and then Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes, and thank you for letting us know, Dr. Chavez, that you're not insured with the district, which means it won't cost you a penny if it goes up. So I'm glad we know that now. And here's
It's in the contract.
This whole process and this whole
You
issue
approved.
started when Dr. Chavez recommended that we raise it so we can turn around and find money to put back into the insurance. And our most vulnerable people are going to be affected the most. And I'm the kind that I keep my word. If I say, I don't believe this is going to benefit you, I stick to it. I don't turn around and have somebody tell me, well, is this, and the vendor. I'm here for the employee. I'm here for the students. None of this issue would have been at where we are now if they hadn't come up and tried to raise the money. And I know it's no big deal. It's only a couple of dollars. Well, when you make almost...
You keep your word, Minerva? Really? Like, and I don't think I've said it publicly. The woman told me months ago that if Jessica and Denise had nominated me to be on the board with her, she would vote for me. Her word means shit. Her word means shit. Okay? Like she literally told me that. If they nominate you, Roman, I will vote for you. I will support you. But they don't want you, Roman. They don't want you on the board. No. They don't want you. But if they nominate you, I'd vote for you, Roman. That's her word. It doesn't mean shit. All right, let's go. I just want to point that out. Thank you.
Damn it, boy.
$500,000 is no big deal. But when you make $25,000 a year to work in our front line, do the math at $15 an hour, that's very difficult. So I would like us, leave it the way it was from last year. Why? We're going to find money. To turn around and say we don't have money when we get almost $500 million. Do people know how much $500 million is? That's a lot of millions. You make money work, but you make it work for your front line, because we're losing teachers and we're losing students, and look at us, we're chasing them away because we're not making them a priority. And I was raised to make you a priority, the front line, because the front line keeps us going. The front line takes care of the top administrator. Like I said, without teachers, I don't need principals. Without principals, don't need AAs. Without AAs, don't need a superintendent. Without superintendent, we don't need a board. We are who we are and as strong as we are because we take care of the front line. And whoever forgets that will start falling apart. My question is, can we please reconsider? Because I talked to some of the people on that committee, and they said, I didn't want to raise it, but the people at the top, they kind of, I don't like that. Ladies and gentlemen, don't do that, especially when you make over 100,000. Don't do that. Don't mess up our frontline people, please. If we can reconsider not changing anything as far as raising it, I think we would be okay, and this would be resolved.
And do you have time, Ms. Peña?
Okay. First of all, I just wanted to correct that statement. Dr. Chavez did not recommend this. The EBC committee recommended, and they did talk to us. So I don't know.
They did tell me they were forced to do
that.
that. If you're going to say that, I'm going to say I talked to them. They contacted me, Daniela. So please not go there, please.
I'm just trying to make sure we're.
I know what they said in public and what they said behind the scenes.
Okay, Ms. Peña. I have Ms. Gonzalez next.
Thank you. I actually wanted to thank Dr. Cantu for providing this paper. This is actually very helpful to what I was saying as far as abiding by the contract, because if this says the ranking by the EPC will be done in August, first and foremost, keep in mind that we approve compensation in June. So the whole 2% shouldn't even be affected if we follow the timeline, So we continue with the August timeline, and then open enrollment is in October, and then our staff will be ready by next January. We're again abiding by the contract, and we approve compensation before even any of this is even done. So I just wanted to point that out. Thank you for providing this.
Mr. Ortiz.
I'm very concerned about our frontline workers. I'm concerned about all of our employees. I said what I said at the last meeting, and I'm very, very concerned that the 2% that was given, they're not going to see it. I'm concerned about the bus drivers. I'm concerned about the maintenance people. I'm concerned about the bus monitors. I would rather just leave it the way it is now, because the front line is very, very important to me. And I said what I said the last time, and I stand by it.
What the hell is these frontline workers?
Thank you, Mr.
Are they
Ortiz.
law enforcement
And,
somehow?
Just for the process of where
Teachers
we
and
are
all-
here, I want to thank Ms. Granlund for doing
Law
her
enforcement?
work, and thank you, Dr. Cantu, for putting this together for us, because this seems like the best fiduciary responsibility to our district, because I don't think council can guarantee that we won't be sued. Is that correct?
It's America.
If I may, we are at the third year now, okay? There are some penalties for if we were to stop it early. We'd have to pay some money back. But I think that's irrelevant, because we are almost at the third year. I think we'll meet that. But we have to decide what it is the board wants. Are we going to solicit a fully funded plan? Are we going to solicit a TPA and continue self-funded? We don't have those questions answered yet. I think it would be very difficult for us to go out for bids right now when we don't even have the parameters. If the board wants us to go solicit for fully funded, we can do that. They want us to solicit another TPA, we can do that. We can do those simultaneously, but we don't have that direction.
I think for the purpose of what we have currently on the agenda, we have two items, right? And I believe Mr. Elizondo just amended his item. So we have that item, and then we have Ms. Grantland's item, which is very specific. And I think it gives you all more information on what you
hers
need.
better.
And because we're already close to the third year, and you've given us the timeline, I think that it's safe to say that this is the best option for the district. So for the purpose of where we're at, we have a first and a second on this item right here. Mr. Elizondo, if you want to go to the next item, or do you want to still?
Absolutely not, ma'am. I'm still going to stand true
Okay,
to what I
let's
said.
go ahead and
I never
take
back
this vote
down.
then.
And also, Mr. Salinas, real quick, how much is the fee that you said that they're going to charge us if we cancel the contract?
$100,000.
$100,000, that's a guarantee that we have to pay that.
Yes, sir. They fronted us $300,000.
They fronted you.
It was a reimbursement. It's a credit, $300,000.
Where is that?
And it's in the contract. It's
No, where
prorated.
is that money?
We used it for wellness. We used it to, Ms. Sadat is not here. She can tell you. We used it for employee benefits.
Can I have a list of the monies that went into that, please? The 300,000 that you're saying that were fronted?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they
Yes.
were fronted as money.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'll stand true with what I said.
And the other thing is I anticipate, and I shouldn't say that, but I.
Don't
I
say it
would-
unless you can bet your life on it.
I would expect the board wants the same benefits that we have now, and not.
Actually, I
less.
don't. I want better benefits
Okay.
for our employees.
Well, and that's the thing, Mr. Elizondo. If we go out now without those parameters, it's going to be very hard.
Sir, I've been bringing it to you for months. You decided to lollygag and bring it down and wait till the last minute so that you could put our backs to the wall and force it down our throat. That's what I think you did.
No,
I
sir.
can bet money on that one.
Let me
This
say
is-
that
I'm not
what
done.
I've seen.
So
and
that's what I'm trying to
Let's
tell
remember
you.
to be respectful.
This is incredibly important.
extremely
to
respectful.
all employees, including myself. This is
Sir,
incredibly.
you're
important.
making $200,000, sir. The bus driver's making
Let's
$500
be
a week,
respectful. We're
or maybe
currently
two. I
talking
am being
about-
respectful, man. Stop interrupting me.
Can we
That's the
stick to the
difference between
agenda?
you and the guy who's actually going to
Mr.
get
Elizondo,
charged.
let's not.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, stop
Yes,
interrupting.
but we're not going to
So
insult
this is what
employees.
I'm
I call
not
the vote.
insulting. So
Thank
this is
you,
what I'm
Ms.
trying to tell you.
Ms.
There's a
Brown.
difference
Let's go
between
ahead.
you,
We got a
to
first
you,
and a
and the
second.
employee
Let's
at the
vote.
bottom.
I think
Please
you're
vote.
wrong.
We have a first and a second.
Don't bet on it.
I'll bet on it.
Motion fails, 3 yes, 4 no.
Thank you. Next item.
Item
Okay,
6,
let's
discussion,
stop there for a
consideration, and
second.
possible action on the recommendation of the Employee Benefits.
Let's stop there. Okay. So he's arguing what exactly? That we're gonna have to that the district is gonna have to pay $100,000 back to United, and so does that mean they wouldn't get sued? All you have to do is pay $100,000. Is that what he's saying? Or what? He's talking about betting your life. Why is he why is Carlos even talking about betting your life? Like, give me a break. And he was being interrupted. I do find it funny that let's call the vote. And then I did think it was kind of cool that Miss Pat was like, please vote. It's like, wait, Miss Pat, you're just the person that does the voting. The person who should be saying that honestly, and I love you, Miss Pat, don't get me wrong, is the chair. She runs the meeting. She should be the one that's saying, put in the freaking gavel, Daniela, and shut them up. Use the gavel. It's there for a reason. Use it. And she didn't. But I don't know why, they were so worried about $100,000. Or is it really just a lawsuit? I don't know. Is this the moment you wanted to talk about that you were going to point down? You stop it, Frankie?
No, I stopped
Oh.
because you said to stop.
Oh, no. I just want to make sure that when is it coming up?
Oh, it's coming up right now, actually.
Okay. Awesome. Great. All right.
Process for CSPs, submission in April 2026 to seek the best available coverage for BSD employees. Board agenda request, Nita Ruth Grantland. Board support, Daniela Lopez Valdez.
Listen.
Madam President,
Listen.
I want to make something very crystal. I abstained on this issue. And I did so for a specific reason, and I want to make it very clear to everyone that it was not for lack of fortitude on voting one way or another. It was so that we could have a discussion such as tonight and come to a conclusion. I wanted to bring it back. I was trying to make an amended motion that evening,
No, you
but
weren't.
with everything that was transpiring, I was not able to be recognized in
Not true.
time. And so rather than to vote one way or another, I decided that I would abstain so that I could bring it back with my amended motion, which was to review the recommendations from the committee, the benefits committee, to also try and comply with the need that I'm feeling we have. And I do agree, we need to go out and look for other options. I would very much like for us to even look at TRS Active and see how that can help us.
What?
I do not like the idea that this district is self-insured and obviously not succeeding at something we don't really do. We're in the business of education. We're not in the business of insurance. I've said this ever since they initiated self-insured before I retired from this district. And even then, there were losses. And I understand that there have been some years where we were in the black after I retired, but still, it's a risky business, and it's one that we really, in my opinion, don't need to have. I think there's other ways to handle this. Here's the facts. Fact number one, we are $7 million in debt in this situation. Fact number two, it didn't happen in a vacuum. It happened because over the years, the premiums were not adjusted annually. Maybe we were trying to be nice. Maybe we overlooked it. I have no idea, but they were not adjusted. Fact number three, everyone did get their insurance. They did get their coverage. They got what they needed when they needed it. So that was a positive thing that happened. But now here we are faced with this issue. I don't like the idea of taking money from people who make little money. But all of us, no matter how much money we make, it's a relative thing. We have to set priorities, and we have to come to a conclusion of what we can do without and what we can do with.
You want a
And I do
$460 million bond, lady.
not for one moment do I minimize our bus drivers' need, our classified people's need. I do understand this is going to be a burden. But I do understand that it came from the employees. Now, whether some of us think that it was coerced, or some of us don't, I have to believe in humanity. And I have to believe that that committee did their very best work to represent the issue, take it back to the campuses. And I know, I'm not naive, I know that when I say this, there will be people that don't want this. But I'm not here to please people. I'm here to do what's best for our students. With this $7 million deficit, our students will suffer, because already we are underwater in our fund balance, which is not something that we should do lightly, because that fund balance is a requirement for our survival as a school district according to the state mandates. So here we are in a precarious situation. And I do appreciate the fact that our employees are sacrificing to try and help this out, to mitigate it, to lessen the debt to about $2 million, which is more workable. I do appreciate all the work that they put into it, all the time they spent on it. I do appreciate the guidance from our staff. Now, do we doubt the vendor? Do we not doubt the vendor, the consultant? I don't know. You know, it may be that we should doubt it. It may be that we shouldn't, but that's not the issue. The issue is our district is in trouble and the village comes together. And so I do appreciate what the committee has done. I do appreciate that they are going to sacrifice. It was a very self-sacrificing recommendation. And this is why I abstained last time, and this is why I brought it back this time, and I stand by what I'm saying. I vote for the students, I vote for the teachers, and yes, sometimes it hurts. I don't pretend to please everyone with my vote.
Question. I have a motion.
Okay, let's stop there.
I want.
All right. So obviously, I appreciate that you watched the show. I appreciate that you're speaking gobbledygook, and I appreciate the fact that you understand. I think you understand what the word appreciate means, because you can't say it enough, lady. Give me a break. I mean, she has no problem. She's not there to please anybody. Really? Are you sure? Because you could have voted like last week. You had to. You remember you sat there for 2 days. 2 days, 48 hours, and I don't know how many minutes because I can't do math in my head right now. 48 hours. You were studying the issue. You were asking questions. You were like, you couldn't sleep at night, and you were just like knee deep in this stuff. And you didn't want to vote last time because you wanted to bring this up as an issue. You could have still voted on it because you knew about the $7 million. You knew about the freaking, fund balance going beneath because you voted on the stinking budget in June, you idiot. And oh, by the way, you also spent a whole lot of time studying that issue and reading up on the bond. I don't even think you even read any of it. That's just my personal. I don't think you even understand the budget. I don't even think you understand a damn thing that you're up there because you're talking about you did research. You researched everything. That's all you freaking do is research. And then you can't come up with a freaking decision when it's staring you right in the freaking face. And the reason is, this is my personal opinion, I think happened is you didn't know who to please. You didn't know if you wanted to please Daniela, who helped you get on the freaking board. And you didn't know if you wanted to please Carlos, who's probably shopping you around to people. Like showing you to people, vendors and meeting people. You don't know what the hell to do. You were confused. You were lost. You were like, and you probably don't know if you want to go to jail because you probably didn't know that people are looking into this crap. Because you didn't follow BISD crap because you've been retired for like 30 billion years, since freaking Stone Age. Like you've been retired. You didn't know any of this stuff. And you're like, you come in there, had you actually studied the issues and attended board meetings before you got freaking appointed to the board, maybe you'd understand that there's a lot of crap happening at the school district. Give me a freaking break. Like, you could have voted 2 weeks ago for this stupid thing because they told you, they explained it to you. This was important. You could have voted for it and not abstained and then still brought this stupid issue up this meeting and not held the freaking BISD, the school district hostage with your stupid freaking abstention. But then again, I really appreciate that you watch the show and you listen. But maybe next time you'll appreciate the fact that when your fellow school board members are telling you, hey, we have issues, we have problems. If you listen to the fact that Denise Garza in that meeting, if you're not falling asleep because you're the golden girl, you're falling asleep in that freaking meeting, you would have heard her say some of the things that she said that was wrong. And you didn't no te prendió el pinche foco. Like you didn't realize that, oh, this will give you a problem later on. You had to wait until one of the school board members like, we're being watched. We're being watched. You didn't freaking know you're being watched. I mean, seriously, if you watched the show, you moron, you would have known that. God. But I appreciate you watch the show.
Again, for those people that aren't aware, that didn't watch the show, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Good Morning Browser on Frankie Legal TV on YouTube. During the last special call board meeting, Roman, there was this 3-3 vote. The Golden Girl did abstain. Many people are alluding to the fact that the reason why she abstained was because she was spooked. During that meeting, Carlos Elizondo, in an open forum, did state that he has an audio of people taking money under the table. Many people are alluding to the fact that this could potentially be him trying to intimidate, blackmail, throw it in her face to the Golden Girl. There is no question that there are 3 people on that board that will be seeking re-election in the upcoming in next November. It would be Carlos Elizondo, Frank Ortiz, and the Golden Girl. If what we have been told is true, vendors, ladies and gentlemen, right now, they're pressing hard. They are salivating. I didn't say that. Denise Garza said that. We posted that video last week where she said that vendors are pressing the board members and have contacted them. Now, there are 2 very important things that are happening right now at the school district. One is the bond. You, the voter, in less than 2 weeks will have the opportunity to vote no on this $1 billion bond. So vendors are salivating. They're trying to press, they're trying to wine and dine. They're promising the moon and the stars to these board members. Think of me whenever I bid for a contract. Think of my company, think of my services. What do you need? Do you need anything? I'll take care of you. Do you need a campaign donation? I got you. Whenever you think of the grand scheme of things, ladies and gentlemen, what's $2,500 to these vendors? What's $5,000 to these vendors? What's $10,000 to these vendors? It's a drop in the bucket. It's peanuts compared to the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars that they could potentially get from these contracts in regards to the bond. That's one issue, Roman. Community chat. The board is also being pressed by this very issue. They're being courted by this very issue of insurance. Insurance, ladies and gentlemen, is very lucrative. I would dare say anywhere from $8 to $12 million is spent on insurance. So that is the dilemma in which these board members are dealing with. They are being wined and dined. They are being courted. They are being promised the moon and the stars. Yesterday, just this morning, Roman, somebody posted, this board member is brand new. She doesn't even have 6 months. She's still wet. You know, she's still a freshman. How could she already be investigated by the FBI? Because she's not very bright. Compared to the other board members, they possibly already know the game. They know how to conduct themselves. If what Carlos said was true, that he has audio of someone being on the take, of someone taking money from these vendors, I hypothetically could see the Golden Girl being on that tape, if it exists. There is no question, chat. There is no question, City of Brownsville. The FBI, the three-letter agency, is looking at the school district closely. Not for something that happened today, yesterday. It goes back to 2023 when Denise Garza makes the allegations in an open forum. I didn't say this. We shared the video on our platform. If you don't believe me, go through it and find it. Denise Garza makes the allegations that a board member is manipulating the process, rigging contracts, favoring one certain vendor for insurance. So this goes back to 2023. Did her fellow colleagues, did someone on that board go to the FBI with this sensitive information? I would dare say yes. According to sources, they did go. Who? I cannot say. But there is no doubt that members of the board, one for sure, possibly more, did go to the FBI with information that a certain board member is trying to rig the process. Who, according to our sources, that board member was Carlos Elizondo, trying to get Frontier or another insurance carrier at that time to get them the information, to get them certain details that only board members were privy to. So that is the grand scheme of things. So that is why the Golden Girl is backtracking. That's why she's trying to explain herself. Está tirando patas de ahogado. Because unbeknownst to her, what if the vendors are working with the feds? What if the vendors are the ones that are recording this and they possibly told Carlos, we have this. And for those that don't remember, Carlos Elizondo did previously record over 4 hours of Cesar de Leon, a former city commissioner, of where they were trying to exchange deals. They promised each other things. So, ladies and gentlemen, a lot is transpiring that we, the community, aren't aware of, but is happening at a very rapid pace. And the board is under a microscope, Roman. And the interesting thing about this is that the Golden Girl seems to be, along with Carlos, in my opinion, seem to be on the short list of the three-letter agency, Roman.
I do think it was funny that she said that people need to live within their means, or being rich or whatever is relative. Is that what she said, or money is relative? I just want to know, does she think that getting $460 million and it will end up being $1 billion, como they said, Frankie, is that living within your means? I mean, I think that other people are pointing it out. I think that people have noticed it, and people were really paying attention to what she was saying. I'm glad you all pointing it out, but seriously, the bond is an example for me of you not living within your means and understanding it. But then again, you're just trying to explain yourself away. Just like Frankie said. I just think it's fairly clear to me that you didn't know what was going on. You're trying to, I mean, she uses even her hands to try to bring, Carlos, look what Carlos is saying. Did you notice her little hand, like pointing to Carlos, oh, I'm still with you, Carlos. Don't throw me under the bus, even though I'm gonna do this other thing because I think it's better for me. But, I believe in my colleagues, that I think they have a point. I think they're right that we want to help the poor the poor people we just gave raises to, and we want to help them, and we don't want them to pay so much. You had this information last month, and all of a sudden now you want to claim that you approved an item on the agenda or seconded before you had all the information. You had enough information to be able to vote, and you should have voted last month, and you didn't. But whatever. All right. I think you make a lot of good points, Frankie. A lot of good points of what you're making, because, I think she's concerned, she's worried, and she should be. She should be. If what I'm assuming the girls did, again, I think last time we talked about this, I felt like I think all three of them went to the FBI.
Oh,
I
really?
I think that's just my person. I think I said that last time. I think that because they all seemed, I think they saw what was going on, and they had to have. I mean, all three of them had to have gone. I mean, I may have my issue with Daniela, but even then, I think that she's smart enough to hey, this is the problem. This is a bad deal. I just have a feeling. No inside information, nothing, just my gut. I don't need to sit here for 2 hours. I mean, for 2 days and 48 hours and research to come up with my opinions. Just come up with my opinions because I have them. But whatever. But
interesting.
I appreciate she watches the show though, or somebody in her circle sure as hell does.
Someone close. Again,
all right.
Let's continue.
We got more. Don't go, guys.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve as written. Recommend for the EBC with a directive to start the process of CSP submissions in August 2026 to seek the best available coverage for BISD employees.
It says April the way it's written. Can you
I'm
please
sorry,
read that?
April 2026.
Thank you, Jessica.
Second.
Got a first and a second. Ms. Peña.
Yes, and Dr. Chavez, I know that you're saying we're in a deficit. How much money do we get to start the year with? For the whole district, for every little thing, compensation for inventory, and for our.
Ms. Peña, I know that item maybe we can talk about outside, because this is not on the current agenda. Right now, we're talking about insurance.
Okay, insurance. Is it a possibility that we can do this without raising any of the money? Because I am here for the employee. And I am blessed to be able to support myself, thank God. And I help a lot of people that can't. My question to you is, and you're saying, well, it's no big deal, it's only $2. Can we do this without raising it anything for the employee and still be able to make it? Because I know that we still have funds that will help us make it. So is there any way you can sacrifice that, sir, to help our employees to be able to continue? And let's look at what we can do for next year, like Ms. Grantland recommended when we go out to do the CSPs? Yeah, the CSPs. I wasn't looking for the TRS, ma'am. Let me finish. Thank you. Sorry. I love that everybody interrupts me. No, everybody interrupts me, but
I just like to make mention to Ms. Peña.
Can I please find
Just
out?
But we're
back
not
what's
raising
currently
premiums
on
or
the
anything like that.
agenda.
We're just approving to go out for CSPs.
No, but on this, at this point in time,
This is not affecting,
raise
nothing's
anything.
changing.
Hey,
Mama,
let's
I
call-
need to hear it.
I need to call order here.
I need to
Hold
please
on, Ms.
finish.
Peña. Hold on. Okay.
Dr.
What's
Chavez, can you
currently-
answer the question?
Ms. Peña, let's talk about what's on the agenda.
Dr. Chavez, this thing on the agenda that Ms. Grantland and Daniela put on there.
So the current item that is currently on the agenda has to do with the CSP submission and going out to approve the EBC committee, which is currently written on number 6, if you want to read that item. That is what we are discussing right now.
Yes,
We got a
approve.
first and
And
a
just,
second.
just clarification, you're saying that so this does not include the raising of the rates?
This is what the EBC proposed
Well, hold on,
to
because
us.
she just said over there that it doesn't.
Dr. Chavez, why do you tell Daniela to tell me something instead of you talking to me when I'm
Dr.
talking
Chavez
to you?
didn't tell me
I
anything.
heard him tell you.
I'm-
Tell her what's like.
Okay.
I heard it, Daniela.
Should we take a recess so that we can come back and?
But Daniela, I heard him say that.
Okay,
Daniela.
I call a recess.
Daniela, I heard it with my own ears. I have excellent hearing. That's the best part about it.
I'm an excellent driver. I'm an excellent driver.
Ha 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 ha.
No, but no. I think I. Oh wow, it's still going. Okay, good.
Yeah,
No,
that's where
I
it
know
stops.
they're going to look. He did say something to Daniela, like you saw it, right? You saw him
Right.
voicing to her, and she did. He did. He should have answered her. He didn't have to answer Daniela, but he did. And it's very clear that did the girls even understand what was on the item? Like that was what the recommendation was, and they got caught. You know, they did. That was what and the thing is, they should have gotten caught because Grantland, that dumbass, was the one who put it on the agenda, and she was the one who was like talking about going into debt, which is why that Miss Minerva was actually talking about it. Why she was talking about how much we're in debt. I mean, you did vote for the budget, Miss Peña. You're a very smart person. You're an excellent driver. You're an excellent hearer. And you're probably an excellent reader too. I mean, did you not understand the budget that you passed? You know what's there, but I understand that's why she was asking it. That's why it was pertinent. But for Daniela to gaslight her and say, no, can we just talk about what's on the item on the agenda? Can we just talk about it on the agenda? Why the hell did you tell that to Ms. Grantland? You know, why didn't you tell it to the golden girl, Daniela? You know, keep her on task. If you're going to keep Ms. Peña, again, I said this last time and I'll say it again. Grantland is a more eloquent version of Ms. Peña. Clear as day. Punto. You know, right there. That's what she is. But come on. I mean, they were gaslighting him. That's why they had to go in executive session. But I'm proud of you, Daniela. I'm really proud of you. You understood the concept of a gavel. You did it. Bravo. That private school education really helped you.
Oh man! Again, never a dull day in the city of Brownsville. ladies and
That
gentlemen.
escalated quickly.
It really did. It really did. It was fireworks. I think everybody's starting to feel the pressure. I think everybody is starting to really see what they're facing, and this whole issue in regards to insurance, ladies and gentlemen, it's only going to ramp up. It's only going to get even worse. And now that they know, and look, maybe possibly the Golden Girl wasn't aware of what had transpired with the district in 2023. Maybe now she has a better understanding and she's trying to backtrack and trying to make a claim as to why she didn't feel comfortable with voting a certain way. It's evident. It's very evident what is happening. And now that these board members are, if they don't know already, after watching today's program, they're very well informed. The three-letter agency is lurking. They are under a microscope, and I don't want to. I get criticized for fear mongering, for sensationalizing things, and making things a bigger issue. This is the reality, ladies and gentlemen, that we're dealing with. What's going to happen in these next few months? Only time will tell. Very, very interesting show today, Roman.
It is. It is fascinating to me. You know, I think it's wrong that she didn't vote last month. I think it's wrong that she's trying to gaslight us. I think it's wrong that Daniela was trying to gaslight even Miss Peña and talking about, you read the item on agenda, read it word for word, and at the same time you have the superintendent whispering something to her. I don't know, sweet nothings. I mean, there's nothing wrong with board members really talking amongst each other. They do it all the time. Hey, I got to go do this, pay attention to this. I mean, it's not a big deal. But
Right.
if Ms. Peña, who's a trustee and an elected official, whether we like it or not, she's an elected official, is asking the superintendent a direct question, and he refuses to answer her, and that is the one person, other than the board attorney, the superintendent is the one person that is beholden directly to the board. And he is disrespecting her by not answering her and only like whispering, like sitting back, like whatever the hell, he was saying to her. I would have liked for Miss Peña, since she has excellent hearing and she's an excellent driver and she's an excellent, reader. Why didn't, if she heard it, what he said, say it. Tell everybody exactly what the guy said. If you heard it. I mean, I know based on looking at it, based on the mumbling looking, that he was saying something to Daniela, not loud enough for everybody else to hear, but she was saying something. He shouldn't have done that. That was disrespectful. And you are the superintendent. You should be held to a higher standard. I mean, I'm just a podcaster with Frankie and, Frankie's little guest. So I can say whatever the hell I guess I want to. Freedom of speech. But you, on the other hand, you're held at a much higher standard than little old Roman. You were showing disrespect to Miss Peña. But it's okay. I show disrespect to Miss Peña all the time. Excellent driver. Excellent driver.
Crazy stuff. Roman, any last words?
We're done? Isn't there more to the story? Oh, you don't want to go to the vote when they come back after executive session? I mean, little closed meeting they had and they voted?
It's not really they just
Juicy?
vote and that's it. Yeah,
That's it.
everybody's already like, okay, let's calm down, guys. Yes. Woo! Okay. Are you ready to vote? Let's vote. And then they do the whole, oh, my daughter's turning 15. Oh, great. And then, oh, we're leaving. No, we still have one more agenda item. And that's the school voucher. The voucher.
Okay. I just didn't know we were going to go on to the end until they actually did the vote when it was a 4-3 vote.
Yeah. Well, okay. I guess we could do that.
No, it's okay. Last word. You got to go. It's already 11:30 and you all probably need to leave. It's already been 2 hours talking. So, well, an hour and a half. Well, no, 2 hours. 2 hours and 5 minutes or so. All right, guys. I think we're good.
Oh wait, no, never mind. You're right. It is kind of juicy. Never mind. I apologize. I don't remember it being juicy, but again, I could be wrong. Let me because they come back and Minerva continues to talk. But let's see, and I don't want to forward it too much. It should be coming up in the next few seconds.
Right there.
Let's see what she has to say. It's not as juicy though.
Yeah, I mean, I want to get to the vote because the vote's important. Because the vote is important. You still have 3 people that voted against even going out for bids. Like to go out and set a standard thing. I mean, they could have separated it. Maybe they should have separated it. Maybe that somebody could have amended. So, you know what? Let's have it in 2 different items so we can vote on 2 different things. One to increase the rates and the other to set a schedule to go out for bids. Maybe they could have done that, but even then, the argument about raising
for Ms.
rates.
Grantlin, when she says that she wants to approve the recommendations of the Employee Benefit Committee, I'm okay with that as long as we take the raise of raising the insurance for our employees. I'm asking her if she would politely amend it to help our most vulnerable employee in the front line who does the hard work, who takes care of us and allows us to be where we are as a great district. If she would politely reword it and amend that the money not be raised.
The motion was done by Ms. Jessica Gonzalez.
Yes,
I can reread my motion if people were off. I know I got stuck with the month. If that helps.
Ms. Gonzalez, please reread the motion.
Okay, my motion is to approve the recommendations of the EBC committee with a directive to start the process for CSPs in April 2026.
Ms. Daniela?
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. Ms. Peña?
Ms. Gonzalez, would you consider, Ms. Gonzalez? Oh, I'm sorry, but you're talking with us. I want to make sure.
I can hear and talk at the
Everybody
same time.
be respectful.
Go ahead.
Let's go back to the topic.
Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am, again.
Yes, respectfully, I wanted to know if you could approve or that your agenda item that you motioned right now, we can approve the Employee Benefits Committee recommendations except for the raise to the employees' benefit, especially because it's going to affect our front line in a negative manner, because the raise we're going to give them, we're going to take it back with the insurance.
Can I answer?
Yes, so could you do that?
I will go on the record, and I stand by the EBC committee's recommendation.
So you're okay with leaving the raise for the insurance for our employees, correct?
You can take it however you wish, Ms. Peña. I'm saying I stand by EBC.
Well, EBC recommended that we do the raise, so you're okay with that? That's what I'm asking. You're okay with the recommendation?
Okay,
I think I've already asked
She
that.
answered your question.
Ma'am, why would
Ms.
she say
Gratland?
yes? Why?
I would like
Ms.
to
Peña.
clarify that the reason that I have placed this agenda item with taking the recommendations of the EBC is the fact that I cannot get past the fact that we have a $7 million deficit that did not happen in a vacuum. It happened to help employees that needed the coverage at the time. They got what they needed, they got their medications, they got their treatments. It helped at the time with no increase in premiums. At this point in time, we're finding that that was not probably the best way to go. Not to up the premiums over a period of, 4 years or whatever it was? How much? Since 2008. I don't know in what universe that was a recommended thing to do, and it doesn't even matter at this point to see who's responsible for that. We're all responsible, and I say we're all, and I use the term loosely because I'm not insured by the district, but it's a responsibility that came about because of services that were given to people and because of processes that were not necessarily in good strategy. So at this point, we have this $7 million deficit. We do have employees that need every penny they make. And we do have employees that are very sick and need insurance. And so at this point, it's time to face the situation and try and do the best we can. This is a group of employees that spent time pondering the problem and coming up with some sort of solution. That they liked it? Probably not. I'll bet you every single one of those people didn't really want to do that. Of course not. Who wants to take money out of their pocket when they need it? But at the same time, there's a responsibility there. There's a responsibility from the people that received the services. There's a responsibility from the district. There's a responsibility to make this right. And we're not taking it from the fund balance because our fund balance is how much underwater?
Oh, he can answer a question.
Currently, when you think of the fund balance, we have a fund balance of 113. But remember, we have a $17 million deficit, right? So.
But you already paid for that deficit.
We're going to be under
budget.
So this is my point.
Can you clarify that, sir? 113 what? Sir?
Ms. Peña.
Oh, no, you can't talk, Ms. Peña. You're not allowed to talk anymore.
Ms. Peña.
Million.
And you're going to take the 117 million
This
from the
conversation, hold on. Right now, we have a first and a second on this item.
So
Ms. Gratland?
having said all that, I'm repeating myself at this point, I'm calling the vote.
Good.
Okay.
I have a comment real quick.
Let's go ahead and vote.
I have a comment, ma'am.
Daniela, Tanya, let
I have
him
a
come
comment.
before.
It's just, it's like living within your means. She's talking about, we have a responsibility. I want somebody, please tell me, when did she leave the school district? When did she, what was her title when she left the school district? Was she in HR? Was she part of was she in the Glass Palace? Was she a principal? What the hell was she when she left? Because I want to say she retired, 12 years ago, 13 years ago? I know I was joking earlier when I said, the end of time or whatever. But, it's been 12, 13. So let's do the math. So right now we're in 2025, and let's say it was 13 years ago, that'd be 2012. So she was an employee of the school district. What the hell was she for those last 4 years between 2008? I mean, is she passing the buck? Was she not responsible? I mean, granted, it's the school board, ultimately it's the school board's responsibility. But I'm assuming she was an administrator. Why didn't she voice her concern and say, hey, this might be a problem? She was even talking about at some point after she left that they were in the black. So, I mean, did she have any role in that? And when it was in the red and now it's in the black, which is a good thing, it happened to be after the fact. Maybe she's just not as experienced and special and, golden as some of these board members made it out to be. because that's what they did. That they were all praising her when they appointed her, and they made it seem, oh, she's great. It was a 6-0 vote. You had Frank Ortiz. I love this woman, and oh, she's really knowledgeable. Thank you so much for everybody who applied, and she was great and special, and woo. And look at her now. Look at the golden girl. Is she really golden anymore? Look at all the gray hair. She's not even golden anymore. She's gray. Maybe she used to go have a visit her primo over there, freaking Frank, with his hair. I don't know. Like, geez, man. Ugh. Frustrated with this woman.
Tell the people how you really feel, Roman.
I'm just frustrated because we're all taxpayers, right? We're all taxpayers, and we're paying for this crap. I mean, this is the same stupid woman who's over there telling people that, we have to be responsible. We have a responsibility to do this and do that. I'm like, well, be responsible and don't ask the citizens for $460 million at the same time you're asking poor people that are, doing, bus work or whatever, getting paid $500 a week. $500 a week to work the school district. $500 a week. How much money did they get? $500 for 4 weeks? They get what? $2,000 a month? I mean, granted, that's still twice as much as somebody, getting Social Security, being on disability to get probably $900 a month. It's still twice as much, but they're working, right? And she seems to care about them. She really, really, truly cares about them. Now, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't increase the rates. I'm not saying that. They should have. I said it last time. They should have voted in favor of it 2 weeks ago when they had this meeting, but they didn't. They didn't because the woman wanted to play both sides. Play both sides. Be on everybody. Be everybody's friend. Even though she said, I'm not here to make any friends or whatever. Bull. You're not here to make any. If you were truly not interested in making people friends and being nice, you would have voted last time. And this whole crap of like, I was trying to make an amended motion. No, you weren't. You did not. You were trying to ask questions when they were already done asking questions. You were trying to pull a Minerva and start talking while the vote was happening. Like, didn't you pay attention? No pinche foco, lady. Like, seriously. Like, you knew you're misleading everybody. You're misleading everybody when you're saying, you're gaslighting everybody when you're saying, oh, I was trying to make an amended motion. I really was. No, you weren't. I was there. I heard it. Well, I didn't hear it because I don't have excellent hearing like Miss Peña. I'm deaf. But I mean, I was there. We all saw it. We talked about it on the show the next day or the next week when we talked about it, when it was fireworks, when Frankie didn't believe there were fireworks. Come on. Like, you were not trying to make an amended motion. You were trying to ask questions. I was trying to ask questions. You knew all this information. Remember, you researched it. You were a research machine. You worked for 2 days. You asked questions and you had meetings and you talked and all you had to do was pick up a phone and talk to the superintendent. He would have told you. And you apparently were, because I think you were talking to Dr. Cantu. You were asking her questions. You were talking about it. You knew how important it was. But you didn't. You wanted to play both sides. You wanted to pretend that, oh, maybe we can't go. You even asked the superintendent why. Why can't we go off for bids? Why can't we do that? Why couldn't we do this? You were asking why in the middle when he was trying to explain it to you because you don't know. And right now you're trying to cover your ass. That's what you're trying to do. And that's what it seems like to me. This is my opinion of what I'm seeing. And I think I might be right. Do you think I'm right, Frankie, that she's trying to cover her ass?
Seems about right.
Am I onto something, guys? I mean, jeez.
You're warm. You're warm. Warm to hot. Let's continue.
All right.
After the vote,
I have a
sir.
comment now.
Daniela,
We'll
please,
wait after the vote.
I have
Let's
a
take a
comment
vote.
now.
Thank you.
Sir.
So right now you're in the discussion portion of it. And
Thank you,
there's so
ma'am.
time allotted there. So just
Yes.
following your rules, we have to at least allow for the time to come down. Ms. Grantland has 22 seconds. Ms. Minerva has 45 seconds. Mr. You have 4:46.
Those are your rules, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead and
Thank
speak,
you for
Mr.
recognizing
Elizondo.
your own rules.
You're welcome.
Thank you. How much do I have?
4:46.
4 minutes?
4:46.
Oh, thank you.
4 minutes, 46 seconds.
Just real quick, just to clarify, it's not about the employees paying their due. It's the mismanagement of this administration, this board, that we have forced that burden on them. And now we want to make sure that they can pay their fair share to get us out of the hole. That's why I have an issue. This is the reason I wanted to go out there, to see if there was a better option for them where it wouldn't cost our employees any extra money. This is the reason why. Whether you like to look at it or not, most of the employees didn't choose our health insurance. It was forced on them. And the amount of money that they have to pay out of pocket, regardless of who sits here or not. TRS care is zero for you. That's your right. You're retired. These people have not
No, I
retired.
pay
Exactly,
premiums.
that's right. But you retired. TRS comes from the state. These gentlemen are being forced to use something that we voted on. Most of the individuals at the EBC was just a small portion of the amount of employees who are going to be out there being forced to take something that they have no responsibility, especially because there's a lot of families out there that take care of their insurance. They don't go out there and waste it. They're not these employees that are putting up million-dollar claims on the insurance. But you want to burn each and every family out there to pay their fair share because we didn't do the right thing? That's my concern. This is the reason I was going out there. Most of these employees don't have any money to add to their premiums anymore. Not only that, I think they went from an 80-20 to a 70-30 plan. That means more out of their pocket if they need to go in there and get a surgery that they probably need.
And I really agree. I'm sorry.
I'm still at it.
303.
Okay. And so this is the reason that I'm pushing the issue so hard, because it's not even for me. I don't have insurance at the school district. But most of these individuals that reach out to me, that have families, who have kids, do not have any extra money because they don't get the $5,000 or the TIA money. They have no more money. And this is the reason that I say what Ms. Minera was saying. Yes, I'm all for insurance. But don't burn the employee with the mismanagement of this board, the mismanagement of this administration. That's what I'm saying. I'll refrain my time.
Question?
Ms. Peña had a question, and then Ms. Grantland.
Yes, and I understand, but like the state agencies pay their insurance 100% for their employees. You have to buy insurance for your family, but the state agency pays 100%. And when you retire, they continue to pay 100%. This is a very minimal thing. I think we can do it and not burden the employee with this, so we can help them. Because when I tell the employee I'm here to fight for you, I'm not going to say, well, because other people made mistakes, I think we need to do this. I'm just asking, sir, to please relook at this and see if there's a possibility where we can help these and this year not raise it. Go and look at it and see what happens in the future, but you prepare them, not to just throw this on them and you know what, we're going to raise it. Please, these are the hardest workers, and without them, excuse me, ma'am, can you let me finish? I want him to listen to me. He can't if you're talking with each other. And I wanted you to please, 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 I'm begging you to
I do
reconsider
have
for the
time, Ms.
employees.
Peña.
Ms. Grantland.
I love that he did this.
Number one, I refuse to accept that this board has been irresponsible. I also want to say that going out for CSPs is not going to take this debt away. It will relieve the process moving forward, but it's not going to deal with the $7 million deficit. There still has to be something done, and as you heard, our fund balance is not fair game. So at this point, I would like to call the question. I do agree that it is important to go out for new quotes. I do believe that, but I think we need to vote. Thank you.
We have a first and a second.
Please vote.
She believes in humanity.
I'm sorry, I'm voting no because I cannot do this to the employees.
Motion passes 4 yes, 3 no.
Thank you. Next item.
There you go.
Item 7, discussion, consideration, and
We're good.
possible action in adopting a resolution in support of the Texas AFL-CIO repeal of the state of
She believes in humanity, Frankie. Never forget. That
Humanity.
older girl, she believe. I believe in humanity. We're a village. We come together, and we do all these things. Like, yeah, it's like she having a come to Jesus moment or something. It's just like, praise Jesus, hallelujah. I'm glad that she realized that she should have voted for this last go around and not done all this hoopla. We could have avoided another, circus. But some people understand how to avoid circuses and some people don't. She wants to be the ringleader in there. Oy. I'm glad everybody enjoyed the show.
Good for us though.
Good for ratings, I guess. I have no idea.
Giving us content. And again, we're gonna be criticized because they say, oh, all you do is cover BISD. Can you blame us? They give us so much damn material. It's like, golly. So
well, then what do you expect?
Crazy.
We only have 4 days where we talk about stuff, and then one day is about sports, maybe, and then, maybe we can even do an open line Thursday, and you just come, you ask this question, we can talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. Who knows? But yeah, it just, BISD is a fascinating thing. I mean, did it. Somebody wrote. I thought I saw on Facebook that some commissioners voted in favor of the bond or something. I don't know. It was city commission, county commissioners. I don't know. So who knows? Maybe they had a resolution last night at the city and they voted in favor of supporting the bond. You know, because government entities have to stick together and stick it to the man, otherwise known as the taxpayer. And
So,
no,
yeah.
I'm not saying that women aren't taxpayers. I'm just
Yeah. Again, it's crazy that these people are doing everything. If you look at the billboards, the digital billboards, they have the bond everywhere. It's everywhere. It's kind of scary that they want this to pass, because at the end of the day, there's hundreds of millions of dollars that are at stake. The vendors are salivating, and the ones who are gonna be heavily affected by it is us, the community, those people that are living paycheck to paycheck. But it seems as if this board simply does not care. Roman, any last words?
I'm on fire. Yeah, I do feel a little bit sick. Honestly, I'm not joking. You know, I feel a little bit like I might be coming under the weather. I don't know. Maybe somebody's doing brujeria on me or something. Maybe like Golden Girl. Who knows? I don't know. Because she watches, she appreciates the show. I appreciate the Golden Girl. I appreciate the fact that she's out there looking for humanity and looking for everybody and trying to come to some sort of a solution. I just wish you had done it last month. Oh well, it's a good show. It was a good circus last night. I'm really sorry that I wasn't able to actually be inside like I had planned on it. Actually in the parking lot, you know, talking to some people about some stuff, but we could talk that. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Who knows?
Tomorrow, the superintendent does have the state of the district set for tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Should we go? Is it free?
Somebody told me they're like, because I was under the impression that you had to sign up for it, and I was like, what? I was like, really? And then yesterday somebody said, no, it's open to the community. And I said, oh, okay. And they said, are you going to show up? And I was like, I don't know, maybe.
Why not? We got to learn. We got to learn all the things that they're going to tell us about. Maybe he has thoughts that he can share with everybody. Not, you know, maybe he can tell us about those 3, you know, teachers, educators, or whatever that they forward. And who knows? I don't know what he's going to say. You want to go? We should go. We should totally go.
We should go live, right?
Well, I don't know how we're gonna go live, but you know, maybe we can. Maybe they have a place for us to go live. We can just tap into the thing and say, "Hey, we're here live." You know, they do that as a special events. They have radio hosts. They have like Radio Row, and people go, you know, like SEC Media Days.
Yeah.
You know, why? Maybe they'll have a media day, and they can come. We can interview them, Frankie. Right? I mean, they have. Do we need to sign up as press or what the hell?
Yeah, let's do it. Screw it. Wait, am I busy tomorrow? Let me check my schedule real quick.
I know, dude. I'm 9 o'clock. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm gonna need to. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. I'll go.
If I'm not sick, because I'm not kidding. I think I feel like a little bit weird right now. If I'm not sick, I think I want to go. Why not? Let's listen.
Yeah,
you want to hear what they have to say. Because I think when they were making the announcement at the end, he said he was going to do a lot of the talking. So, I mean, yes, we got to hear our superintendent. I mean, he had to sit there, for so many hours and not be able to talk, you know, being quizzed by Elizondo. Oh, by the way, Frankie, what exactly was it that you wanted to point out when he was talking about the CFP or whatever? CFP, sorry, college football playoff, sorry. You guys said that, hey, I was going to stop the tape when he did the certain things so I could explain it.
I don't even know.
I don't know either. I don't think they're going to let us stream it live, though. I don't think they'll let us stream it live.
Why not?
I don't know. Well, maybe they will. Who knows?
It's like the board meeting. It's like the board meeting. I could go live at the board meeting. Why can't I go live at this event?
Oh, well, then why not? Let's go for it.
Yeah, I'll go. To the community tomorrow, Thursday, October the 9th. BISD will be having the state of the district. Save the day. Join us for a message from BISD Superintendent Dr. Jesus Chavez, Thursday, October 9, 2025, at Buchanan Performing Arts Center, 2615 East Price Road, Brownsville, Texas 75-1. Let's go. Let's see what
it's
what
open to
they
the
have to say.
public. Why shouldn't we go? I mean,
Yeah.
why shouldn't we go?
I think at the last minute they're gonna be like, oh, this idiot's here. No, you have to sign up. I bet you something crazy is gonna happen like that.
Who knows? We'll find out. It's at 9:00.
It's at 9:00 tomorrow.
Well,
I'll
I'll do my. I would like to go. I mean, we got to be there for the people. I mean, we got to be there to witness. You know, I mean, are they going to stream? Maybe they're going to stream this live for everybody on for us to do. Maybe we can find out if they stream it live. We don't go. We just stream it we can watch the show with you all together, and we can do what we do.
I doubt it. They're not going to stream it live. If not, if that's the case, because again, but you would think, right? Because the city in their state of the city, they stream theirs live.
No, they don't stream theirs live because it's done by the chamber. I think the chamber sponsors it.
I don't know why. I saw it live, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't think they did it live, but maybe they did. Maybe. Well, we'll find out. We can call up. I mean, right now they're out to lunch, I'm sure, or they've been sitting here watching. You know, holding their wrestling leg, watching what we've been talking about. You know, honestly, I have a feeling that there are people out there that watch this show that are in the glass panelists that absolutely agree with us on this stuff. That I think they agree with us. I mean, they agree that the Golden Girls should have done this 2 weeks ago. They agree with us. I have no doubt there are people like you, go Roman. I'm glad that somebody's saying it. You know, because we're calling out. You know, we're not just picking one side or the other. We're not picking winners and losers here. We're not. We're here to just give you our opinion of what we think is going on. I mean, I even praise stupid Daniela over there, you know, for using the gavel. I mean, if they stream it live, we shouldn't just go in person. Why do we want to, you know, take a space? But if they don't stream it live, we got to go. That's my decision anyway.
But how do we know if they are going to stream or not?
We just have to call the public information office. I can maybe call the superintendent's office. Hey, are you streaming?
Oh, it's at Hannah. It's at Hannah.
But it's at Hannah. Oh, pues. Oh, man. Well, I mean, we'll find out. I'll find out. I'll let you know.
All right. Let me know.
I'll find out. I will find out.
Depending on we can go live, or if it's going to be streamed live. Yeah. Let's just do the show and then we'll stream here. Yeah. But if not, also ask if it's open to the public, because I've been hearing several different things, but
why wouldn't it be open to the public? What, they don't want taxpayers? You know, it doesn't make sense. We'll find out. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Frank Olivo TV on YouTube. Best believe Good Morning Bronzo will come on live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m., sometimes a little bit after. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel titled Frank Olivo TV. My name is Frankie. This is Roman. Peace.